A pleasant good evening to you high school football fans that are warm and dry in your cars and in your homes. And greetings on a great night to be a Duck from Robinson Field as Ohio High School Athletic Association playoffs begin, Division III Region 12. Tonight we bring you the number 4 Ross Rams hosting the number 13 Chaminade Julienne Eagles of the GCL. Joel Sackenheim along with Dr. Dan Vogt and Neal Sackenheim here from Robinson Field. Gentlemen, it is a good night to be a Duck.
It is a good night to be a Duck. I'm telling you, we're underneath the tent here, folks, and it was set up by Chris, and he did a good job for us. I'm looking forward to this game. It's a contrast of styles, wouldn't you say, Joel?
Definitely. Somewhere in the Gospel of Luke, they said that they kicked us out of the barn and into the tent because there was no room in the inn. Somewhere in there. But we are dry enough. Yes, clash of styles. So the Ross Rams, as we all know, love to run the football. They lost C.J. Bowes due to graduation last year. Braden Fraisman got the majority of the snaps early on in the season as quarterback. They have since kind of delegated that role to Aiden Brown. Between the two of them, a total of 40 pass attempts in only in 9 games. Absolutely.
I mean, it's pretty amazing when their Ross's leading receiver has caught 9 balls. That would be
1 per game.
Yes, one per game with a 15-yard average. So, but I mean, looking at the statistics overall in the season, Ross has rushed for 2,732 yards with 400 yards passing. Now, I don't think their coach would tell us we try and run a balanced offense.
They try to balance it out between runs to the quarterback and runs to the halfback and runs to the fullback, right?
That's right.
Chaminade Julienne is going to be the opposite of this thing, and I'll tell you, if Ross gets their way tonight, we're going to be out of here by 9 p.m. And if CJ gets their way tonight, we're going to be here past 10 o'clock down to 10:30 at night.
That's right.
It's Malone ball versus Worth ball for those that are baiting.
Yes, it is.
You know, I see a game of ratios here.
Yes.
Okay. We're talking about style.
All right.
Based on this year, Ross probably runs 1 pass play out of every 8 plays.
Wow.
All right.
And CJ runs 4 pass plays out of every 7 plays. But the only ratio that probably really matters tonight is a number 4 versus a number 13.
That's true.
That is true.
Now, CJ could be a dangerous 13 here. And I don't know if Coach Commons was thrilled when he saw his drawing or heard about it from me on MOH last Friday night. You get the GCL. Now, Baden and McNick have been the class of that conference all year long.
Yes.
But then down below that, you got Alter and CJ, both of whom have really struggled putting together good records. Alter's 5-5. They're the 15 seed. They get Monroe tonight over at the Hornets' Nest. That may not be any prettier.
How do you think Monroe feels after playing a battle-tested, on-the-rise team like Alter? I mean, after being a 2 seed and they play a 15 seed. Alter might be the greatest 15 seed ever. Well, they're the first one.
Well, there aren't a whole lot of 15 seeds in history.
There's no history of 15 seeds.
They scattered it to 16. They got the entire top row of teeth covered, Dan.
But that might be a little upset alert there. I hope Monroe wins. Being a Baden fan and watching Alter clean our clocks for many, many years until recently, I'm going to root for the Monroe Hornets, obviously.
Speaking of Alter,
yes,
sir.
Ross is home.
Ross is home.
And they just took their sideline, and the last time they played at home was back on November 6, 2020 against Alter.
For a playoff game.
Yes.
That is correct. For a playoff game.
It didn't say that on my note sheet.
Well,
but
they did have, I think, 4 or 5 home games this year during the regular season.
Was that the infamous $5?
That was the infamous $5.
Yes.
Yes. There's 3 things in life that you don't bet against. That would be death, taxes, and Alter football. and I did it, and I lost.
Kettering Alter's tough. GCL. Chaminade Julienne also tough. Both of these teams, CJ and Ross, both played Baden this year, and both of them gave them some fits in their own way.
Right.
I mean, Baden obviously is the number 1 seed in this region. We'll talk about them plenty tonight as well as we look forward in the bracket.
This will probably be the last piece of useful information I can provide tonight. But CJ has scored 28 points in 7 of their last games. Let's see what they come up with tonight.
Yeah, and Ross was putting up a lot of points, even with the running game. They're putting up a lot of points earlier on in the season. Other than the Edgewood game, which was kind of the one that Coach Commons, I'm sure, will throw out the film on.
Looks like Ross won the toss. They elected to receive. So here we go. Joel.
Chaminade Julian Eagles will kick off to begin quarter number 1, and it's a short little pooch kick with a fair catch being called by Logan Hammonds, the up back. And so Ross will get some pretty decent field position to start drive number 1.
About the 34-yard line.
The Ross Rams will be going from left to right across your radio dial or from A to L across your computer keyboard. If you happen to be logged in at home.
I like the A to L.
A to L.
I'll always remember that. That's Al.
They're Al, going south to north.
Well, folks, this is my first radio broadcast with this group of fine young men, and my first one was on television, so I'm hearing much more descriptive chatter this time.
No doubt about it. Aiden Brown is the quarterback. He's been the quarterback for the second half of the year for the Ross Rams, and this ball is going to be handed off to Braden Fraseman. And Fraseman is going to gain only about a yard. He's going to be out to about the 36-yard line. It's going to be a second down and a short 9 for the Ross Rams.
I didn't get the tackle on that, Joel. However, it did look like CJ was ready for that play. I mean, they pretty much hit him, and he fell forward for those 2 yards.
I'm going to give credit to Norman Jones, number 19, who was in the neighborhood, but if I don't see him, I make him up.
That's right. Toss sweep goes out to Jay Warren, the number 1 receiver. And he almost gets all the way to the sideline, is kind of wrangled there by Chaminade Julian after gaining about 5 more yards.
Derek Thomas Jr. on the tackle.
It's going to be a 3rd down and 3. And already we're seeing a couple different options with the triple option. You see a wide back handoff up the middle, and now you've seen the toss, the pitch. We'll see what they draw up here on 3rd down and 3 as Brown once again leads them up to the line of scrimmage. Flexbone formation, only 1 wide receiver to the right side of the formation. Actually, now Fraseman is under center, and Aiden Brown is now the tailback, so a little bit of musical quarterbacks being played.
And CJ has 10 in the box. They're surely suggesting a run here on defense.
No deep safety. A fullback dive up the middle. This is going to be close to the sticks. Officials stop the clock, and they are now motioning for the chains to move forward. It's a first down for the Ross Rams.
That was a generous spot there, but they got the first down.
Ross is going to have a 1st and 10 now at their own 44-yard line.
We got the,
of the game.
Sorry, Joe. We got the cowbells in the background. This is high school football.
We need more cowbell.
Yes, we do.
More cowbell. More cowbell. You guys are playing great, but we need more cowbell.
Brown goes in motion. Fraseman takes the snap. Hands off to the fullback. Riley Caldwell up the middle, and he is blown up.
Yes.
Boom.
He was
Carson Swisher. He brought him down solid. Good footing. No mud here. All nice all-weather turf. So
they changed this field from grass to field turf about 2 years ago.
Okay.
And tonight is a night where it comes in handy.
Yes.
Because it would be really, really muddy and bad.
It is raining so bad the little pellets might turn into mud.
The handoff again is it's a fullback dive to Riley Caldwell. And Riley Caldwell is going to punch it for about 3 yards.
Mishon Stevens brought him down from CJ. I guess I'm getting the defensive side.
That's all right. Give him credit.
That's beautiful.
If I can focus on one thing, I do pretty well. So
I'll tell you guys, it is a pretty nice turnout for this treacherous weather. It is just coming down in buckets, folks. It is just coming down.
We wondered before the game, obviously a lot of local excitement.
Yeah.
Obviously terrible weather. Which one would win out? Looks like it's about a 50-50 split. Fraseman under center gives a hard count and gets the entire Chaminade Julian defensive line to jump.
That's right.
It's not going to be enough for a first down, but it's going to be a 3rd and a lot more manageable for this triple option offense.
They're down to 1 yard, 3rd and 1.
3rd down and 1. They are now across midfield.
And being a running team, Ross is saying, thank you very much there. I mean, we can convert a 3rd and 1. We're a running team.
Well, they got 2 downs to do it, I'm sure,
right.
as well.
We're at the 47.
Fraseman again under center with Riley Caldwell, the fullback behind him.
Sneak, my favorite.
Sneak. And Fraseman is going to have easily enough yards. He gets at least 2. He only needed 1. 1st and 10, Ross Rams.
As the dance continues, little forward progress, and then he was pushed back. Obviously, they award forward progress for the first down.
Ross has the ball now at the CJ 45-yard line, dressed in their monochromatic maroon.
Yeah, imagine maybe USC. That's kind of the color. A little darker than USC. More of us.
Arizona State's color.
Arizona State. That's good.
USC.
Oh, nice run there, Joel.
This is Aiden Brown taking the sweep around from right to left, off the left tackle, punches it forward, and is going to be close to the line to gain.
Yeah, and that was DJ Thomas on a tackle. DJ Thomas, raindrops are falling on his head tonight.
2nd down and 1 for the Ross Rams.
At the 36, they're coming along.
Frazeman again under center. Go ahead.
That's okay.
Steady drive.
Aiden
like
Brown fakes from right to left. Frazeman keeps it going the opposite direction as the man in motion. Wiggles his way through the teeth of the defense for a modest gain and a first down.
Sam
Downing
pulled him down.
Oh, very good, Neal.
Go ahead, Danny.
I'll tell you, this is just what Ross wants to do. I mean, grind it out, make the game shorter. They're coming out and they're dominating the line of scrimmage here. This is pretty impressive first drive, guys.
And they're also chewing the clock, which is now down below 8 minutes.
I was just looking at that, Joe, like 4.5 minutes of clock usage.
That's less pass defense you have to defend.
Ooh, now
Blown up in the backfield.
23 is Walter Sledge.
Hammer.
Yes, he hammers Riley Caldwell on the fullback dive.
I was doing the Peter Gabriel sledgehammer.
Yeah, you were doing that. I was thinking the Sister Sledge.
Sister Sledge.
So
we're kind of music freaks here, you guys.
We got a second
as opposed to Percy Sledge when a linebacker loves a fullback. Can't keep his mind on nothing else.
Oh, my goodness.
2nd and 12 for the Ross Rams. 2 wide receivers now to the bottom side of the formation. It's another fullback dive to Caldwell up the middle. Churns his legs. Didn't have a lot of room there, but was able to carve out a surprisingly good gain on 2nd down and long. It's going to set up 3rd and 5.
Okay, so from CJ's perspective here, this is probably the longest 3rd down, with the exception of the one where it was aided by the penalty. CJ still looks like Ross is still setting up in a running formation. They do have 2 on the right side.
T.
Yes.
Man goes in motion. That's Jay Warren. He now lines up in an I formation behind the fullback in the backfield. This is a fullback dive potentially.
Nothing.
Kept it in the mesh point for quite a while, but finally stuck it in the belly of his fullback Caldwell. And Frazeman might have been better off keeping that one thing and trying to work it outside there.
I agree with that.
We're at 4th and 4. Looks like the ball's being placed at the
looks like the 26.
Yeah.
4th and 4, guys. Obviously, if Ross is going to pass, they're going to want to pass here.
Well, you also want to consider the weather as well.
Oh, sure.
Ross is not a team that likes to throw the ball anyway, and now when you add this type of weather in it, that might make it even more perilous. We'll be interested to see when CJ gets the ball next, how they handle these weather conditions. The mesh point is kept this time by Frazeman. Falls his way forward and gets enough for the first down.
Very, very interesting calling it the mesh point. I know exactly what you meant there. Both players pretty much carried the ball for 2 yards, and then finally when they, coerced on to the running back, the quarterback took it out of his belly and got the first down.
Yeah, you basically had 2 runners there with the same ball kind of fighting. That would have been traveling in basketball game.
That would have been traveling, yes.
Second effort paid off. It's a deceivingly long run, 6 yards.
Hand up to the outside, Aiden Brown, and he is chased out of bounds by Kenyon Owens of the Eagles. It's going to stop the clock at 5 minutes and 4 seconds left to go.
7-minute drive.
This is exactly what Ross would like. The traditional yellow helmets for Ross with the maroon ram's horn going down the 2 sides there. Maroon face mask, it looks like, for Ross. And as we said, USC type of font and style, but Arizona State type of color.
I do like the traditional ram horn.
Frazeman keeps this and spins it to the right. Tries to tuck it up. Bounces just a little bit past Donovan Cummings. And then is dragged down by the second Eagle there. And it's going to be a 3rd down, and once again, somewhat short.
Initial hit, Donovan Cummins from CJ, who kind of grabbed him by the ankles, rolled a little bit, but it was enough to make him fall.
3rd down and 3.
You think we got another RPO option coming up here?
This could be another read option.
Yep.
It's worked very well for Ross, and they've got 2 plays to get this if they don't want to kick the field goal. We're down to 4.5 left to go in the first quarter. CJ has not touched the ball yet. I formation now as Aiden Brown goes in motion, then stops as the tailback. This is a fake play action.
He's wide open.
To the end zone. The ball is deflected.
Broken up.
Incomplete. The intended receiver on the play, as soon as he turns around, I'll be able to get his number for you.
Yeah, no TV numbers here.
We don't have the TV numbers all that well.
He's a tall guy.
He's a tight end. He still has not turned his body to us. I know Dad's ready to give 43. Thank you. Give us a good sign. Ryan Iams was the tight end there, running the drag route along the back of the end zone. Dad, who got the break?
Great play and thank you for giving me the extra time. I hope I don't butcher this. Nico Vukanasovic. He put a hand out in front of him. Very clean, very well done.
Sully Spencer attempts a field goal attempt from 30 yards out, and it is good. In the bad weather conditions, the Ross Rams capitalize on the opening drive of the game and put a 3 spot on the board.
12 seconds shy of a full 8-minute first drive.
That's impressive.
About that?
2/3 of the quarter gone.
Well, we know Ross has a kicking game. If he can kick a 30-yarder like that in the rain and clear the goalpost with, 15, 20 yards to spare, Ross will be able to kick.
Well, and certainly you wonder with the weather conditions.
Yeah.
What that's going to look like. But so far, so good for Sully Spencer as Ross takes a 3-0 lead here in the first quarter.
Well, as old Sammy Ball used to say, it's a passing man's game. So we're going to see the CJ passing man's game coming up here now.
I just realized something.
Yes.
My ratios are not even accurate at all.
Uh-oh.
What I was doing was looking at passing yards per game and running yards per game. That has nothing to do with how many plays.
How many attempts. You're just looking
That's
at
okay. Here we go.
Those are percentages.
Sully Spencer kicks a line drive well over the head of the deep man, and it's going to be a touchback. And Chaminade Julienne will get their first offensive possession, and we will get our first look at Luke Chandler, the quarterback for the CJ Eagles. Now, we talked about how Ross, as a team, between Fraisman and Aiden Brown, had only thrown at 40 pass attempts on the entire season.
Right.
Luke Chandler is the leading passer in the GCL co-ed. 109 completions out of 164 attempts for 1,560 yards, and he's completing over 66% of his passes.
Yeah, and look at that TD interception ratio. I always like to look at that, and he's got 18 touchdown passes with only 4 picks. That's amazing.
4 wide receivers and a running back. This is a handoff up the middle. Spread formation for the CJ Eagles. And we're looking to see if we can get a number on that running back. It looks like that's Kenyon Owens there, running it up the middle for Chaminade Julienne. Actually, I take that back. That's Josiah Payne, number 7.
Yes.
He's the running back there alongside number 8, Luke Chandler. No huddle offense for Chaminade Julienne.
Wow.
Austin Ferris got that last tackle.
We got 2 wide receivers to the left and 2 wide receivers to the right. Chandler in the shotgun with Josiah Payne alongside of him.
Pass play.
This is going to be a pass over the middle.
Oh,
complete. Kenyon Owens on a slant pattern. And he's able to get the ball with a little bit of more rushing yardage after the catch, the yak, and out to the 46-yard line, CJ's own 46-yard line. 1st and 10, CJ.
Kenyon Owens, their leading receiver this year. He's caught 36 balls for 624 yards and 7 touchdowns, 17 yards per reception. So he is the main man, and he started off as the main man.
A favorite target.
Yes.
For the Eagles. This is going to be a pass again to Owens. And Owens going to take the wide receiver smoke screen up for about 5 yards.
Very elusive there, too, Joel.
Works like a running play.
Yeah.
Braden Baston made a pretty decent open field tackle on him.
The name of the game for Ross's defense, Dad, is going to be tackling in space.
I'll tell you, though, this is a fast-moving offense. They're at the 49 of Ross now. They cross midfield.
CJ has trips receivers to the left side of the formation, then sends a man in motion. They got 4 guys to the wide side of the field. A pass thrown over the head of the intended receiver, Quentin Johnson. Johnson was the man in motion. They tried to throw him a little floating pass out to the flat and use the 3 wide receivers as lead blockers. It's a power running game, really, but done out of the spread formation.
CJ's basically white shirts, green numbers, and green pants. So it's a green versus crimson matchup.
Kelly green helmet, similar to the old Randall Cunningham Philadelphia Eagles.
The better Eagle uniforms.
With the white Eagle wing, purple tipped on the side. Handoff up the middle. That goes to Josiah Payne. He's going to be close, but not quite enough for a first down. The side judge on CJ's sideline actually flinched like he was going to signal a first down and stop the clock, and then took a peek back over his right shoulder and saw that he was 1 yard off. So it's going to be a 4th and 1 now for the Eagles. Very important fourth down conversion attempt here for CJ.
There's a gain of 3, Austin Ferris, again, of Ross on the tackle.
In the shotgun.
Hurry up. Snap
He got
to the
it.
fullback. That's Walter Sledge. And Sledge hammers his way past the 40-yard line.
He more slashed it than sledged it, I thought, but it looked great.
So we're looking at maybe the CJ drive going at twice the pace of the Ross drive because they've thrown in the passing game with it.
They are trying to frantically frazzle Ross's defense here. And so far, as long as they keep getting first downs and steadily move.
39-yard line keeps
This
moving.
is an option pitch to the short sideline, Josiah Payne.
I really like their playbook, Joel.
Let me ask you something.
Mixing it up.
Sorry about that, Neal. I didn't mean to talk over you there. Do you think the level of competition that CJ has played this year has been superior to Ross's, and maybe they're a kind of an underrated team?
Well, I know what you're thinking about. You're thinking about the whole New Bremen, New Miami effect. And CJ's opponents, they've had a bit of a rattled schedule. It's going to be 2nd and 3. We'll come back to that point in a second here.
Yeah.
Trips wide receivers to the left side, wide side of the formation, looking short side toward Owens.
You got
It is
it.
complete on the button hook, and actually that's not Owens, that is Quentin Johnson. The lone receiver on the right short side of the field runs past the sticks, turns around, button hooks, and catches the ball.
Devin Furlong in on the coverage. Go ahead, Joel, about the...
Yes, CJ, their non-conference schedule, they got to play, they played up. They had Troy, who's a Division II school. They ended up with a COVID cancellation and ended up scheduling Moeller.
Wow.
Who's the number 1 seed in Division I, and only lost to them by 14 points.
That's impressive.
And then they had Kettering Fairmont, who also has a pretty good season in Division I. Touch pass, going to the wide side of the field. Kenyon Owens trying to find some blockers, runs out of bounds. You had a diving tackling attempt by Jay Warren, but he simply ran out of room. Ball goes out of bounds. Stops the clock at 40 seconds left to go in the first quarter of play. Briskly played quarter number 1 here at Robinson Field.
Yes, it is. And, boy, they're in good shape here. They're in the red zone. It's 2nd down, only 3 yards to go. And they are all the way down at the 16-yard line of Ross.
Impressed with Jay Warren, the runner from CJ. He's 5'7",
Talk about Kenyon Owens.
pound. He looked like a pro. The way in some of these passes are very sharp.
This is a button hook intended to the sideline guy from Chandler into the arms of number 12, Jonathan Peltier.
Luke Chandler with the tackle on the sideline.
You got your rosters mixed up. Chandler is the
Oh,
quarterback.
I
That's
have
okay.
that wrong. Yes, I always got to do that every game.
Yes,
Richie Jackson.
Kenyon Owens was the runner for CJ you were impressed with. Jay Warren was the guy that ran him out of bounds.
First down, goal to go here.
I got my
34
rosters
seconds.
left and right correct, and I'm still wrong.
And just wait, in 34 seconds they're going to switch directions. And
And then I'll flip my pages, yes.
Chandler fakes the handoff.
Boom.
Sends
Nice
the ball
D.
toward the corner. Incomplete pass intended for Peltier. Broken up there on the play by Richie Jackson on defense for the Ross Rams, the cornerback. That was a quick out pattern. And running it all the way to the pylon there, and a nice little pass breakup.
Yeah, they're knocking on the door. 6-yard line right now with 30 seconds left in the first.
It's 2nd and goal now for Chandler and the Eagles.
I'll tell you, Chandler, he has a gun. He just fires it, doesn't he?
He is not afraid of this at all.
Boom.
Handoff up the middle.
And he
That
got
ball
it
is in the belly of Josiah Payne, and Payne wiggles his way and causes some pain to the Ross defense all the way into the end zone. Touchdown, Eagles.
Under 4 minutes for sure.
Yes. So they did it
about
half the
three-
time.
About 3 minutes and I'd say about 50 seconds. They moved the ball. I forgot where they started.
They started at the 20-yard line after a touchback.
Yeah,
8-yard drive.
That's right. I remember seeing the ball go in the end zone. That isn't typical.
Gotta love a place
In high
kicker number
school.
69. Or it looks like 64 maybe?
He might be.
9.
It is. He's got a boot.
Got a good
Oh, Lord.
We don't have a 69 on the roster. So I have no idea who that is. But
we will try
the
and
extra point is
find
good.
that out.
Well, we don't have a number 30 for Ross either. I wanted to call him earlier, but it goes from 29 to 31.
There is a funny story about that. So Josiah Payne with the 6-yard touchdown run. I'm updating Twitter as we do this here, as CJ takes a 7-3 lead over the Ross Rams on their opening possession.
Boy, CJ, they're trotting out for the kickoff now. They got some swagger. You can tell they look confident. I love it.
They're not afraid.
No.
After playing Moeller and teams like that,
Baden,
they are not afraid.
they played Baden tough. Baden, it took them probably 2.5 quarters to figure out how to stop the passing game.
CJ put 28 points up in the first half against the Baden Rams.
Yes, they did.
Baden's defense has not looked that bad all year.
That's right.
And Coach Jordy was talking to us on WMOH after the games last weekend. He was certainly interested to know if he could avoid playing CJ in the first round, as well as Alter.
No, I think CJ was offsides with that.
Ooh.
This is a
Oh,
problem.
my.
Big problem. A long kickoff by our mystery man, 69, that took a bounce, a wicked hop on the return man, Jay Warren. Warren struggled to come up with the ball. He muffed it. It went over his head, picked up the ball on the 1-yard line right by the sideline, and then immediately accidentally lost his balance and stepped out of bounds. Ross will begin this second drive of their game 99 yards away from the goal line.
Okay, now if I'm CJ's defensive coordinator, we all know Ross loves to run. I put guys on that line. I put the linebackers right behind the defensive line, and I dare them to run, and I shoot the gaps, and I try and get a safety here. But they're not doing that. Here comes the run.
This is Frazeman around the outside and bounces off a couple of CJ would-be tacklers. Very, very important to get some breathing room for Ross there on that play, and that's going to probably end the first quarter.
Yes, it
Made
is.
it out to the 6-yard line, so a 5-yard gain.
That was interesting that they ran a wide, long play there from their own 1-yard line. That's always
You worry
risky.
about that breaking down.
Absolutely. You can hit him in the end zone.
Maybe it's an element of surprise. I mean, everybody thinks, right up the middle, hurry up and go vertical.
Cross them up. We have reached the end of quarter number 1 already at Robinson Field. Each team has had exactly one drive and Ross one extra play. It is the Chaminade Julian Eagles 7, the Ross Rams 3. We'll be right back on the Butler County High School Sports Report Radio Network.
Hey, sports fan, did you know the OHSAA is among the national leaders in social media? Check out the OHSAA's social media platforms for news, tournament information, accomplishments, helpful links, and all the items available in the fan guide, including photos, DVDs, and publications. Check out OHSAA Sports on Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, and Instagram. And who knows, you may be the next featured face.
We had mentioned already the idea of not having a number 30 on our Ross roster. Number 22 is Brendan Sevier. And Sevier had a severe injury on this field a few weeks back. He actually broke a vertebrae in his back, and from what I understand, they actually had to cut off the 22 jersey off of him, taking him to the hospital. The doctor has said he cannot do any further damage, as this first play of the second quarter is a handoff to Caldwell up the middle and is not going to gain much. So he's playing with a broken vertebrae in his back. The doctor has said he cannot do any further damage. It was just simply a pain tolerance thing. And he's out there playing for his team. We're in number 30.
Tough guy. What can you say?
Brendan Sevier. How about it? We have a 3rd down and 6 now for Ross on their own 5-yard line. Field position. That was huge, Jay Warren muffing that kickoff and accidentally stepping out of bounds at the 1-yard line. Frazeman fakes it left, scrambles around right, tries to get past some diving would-be tacklers, and is short by about 3 yards.
Looked like a well-executed pitch play, and at first, to me, it looked like he looked to his left, and there was nothing there. I think there might have been either a fake with this. He faked me well.
Yeah.
or there was a breakdown on the left side and end up running right.
He kept it himself, quarterback keeper on that play. But
4th and 3, obviously we're going to see a punt
this
here.
has got to be a punt. I cannot imagine Coach Commons is going to want to snap this on his own 8-yard line.
Oh, my goodness. Are you
Under
kidding?
center is Fraisman's the punter, though.
Okay,
just like Viderick forbade.
Oh, you know what he's trying to do? He's going to try and draw him off sides.
We'll see how disciplined CJ. They got him once on the first drive of the game on a third down. They snapped it.
Oh my goodness!
They're running it,
and they didn't make it. And he is short.
Oh my goodness!
Wow!
I don't understand that play.
That's a game changer.
That's unbelievable.
That's a fiasco of major proportions.
Either that or that's a lot of respect for Chaminade Julian's offense. Thinking we don't.
Boy, and the rain comes down even harder now. As Ross.
My gosh.
My goodness.
Fraisman kept the ball, rolled out toward the left.
He looked like Detroit Lions coach Dan Campbell there, didn't he? Fake punts, fake field.
And CJ is going to take over the ball, not on a turnover, but just simply a turnover on down. At the 8-yard line going in.
I have never seen a coach in my life go for it on 4th and multiple yards inside their own 10-yard line. I've never seen that before.
Chandler. Shotgun formation, 3 receivers to the left side, the wide side. Chandler going to keep it. Almost intercepted.
Nice D.
Into the end zone. Severe with the broken back. Makes the deflection that was intended for Kenyon Owens, and Severe actually had the inside position on that play. Chandler didn't make a very smart decision there, honestly, to tell you the truth. It was not open. Either that or he didn't see Severe.
Ball was heading out to the left from our perspective, and Severe was kind of fading to the right. Hard to get an interception, but got a lot of hand on it.
Boys, somebody is getting chewed out on the sidelines over there.
Chandler, shotgun formation, 2 receivers on each side of the formation. This is a handoff up the middle. Tucks it upside after bouncing outside, and that is Amari Lattimore, and Lattimore is just short of the goal line. I thought he was going to get in. He had a very big hole.
He did.
Either of you happen to catch the Ross player that made the nick up there?
I did not either.
Hard to see from this angle. We got a chain link fence in our way and a canopy there.
We're the chain link gang. We got the chain link in front of us.
That's right.
We're down below 10 minutes left to go down the second quarter. Shotgun formation on the goal line, Dan. I know you love that.
Oh, I hate it.
Hand off the sledge, and he is in the backfield. That's why you don't like it.
Just get that quarterback under the center and let him follow his guard's rear end into the end zone. It's not hard.
This was a great play by Austin Ferris. He came from into the backfield and pulled the running back down from
They lost 2 on that, guys. It's a 4th and 3.
Bryson Basson hit him up high as well.
No field goal here either. They're going for it.
Why not?
Maybe they'll give him the gift right back.
I kick it.
We do not have man coverage all by ourselves at the left side of the formation. Chandler looks to the right side instead, throws the fade pattern, and a flag is thrown. The pass was intended for Peltier. 12 versus 12 there. Number 12, the defender, was Kyle Becker. And a flag was thrown from the center of the field, not by the side judge.
Yeah, the side judge was right there watching it, didn't throw the flag. It had to take a guy 60 feet away to throw the flag.
Well, angles are everything in officiating, though, so I don't know what was observed from the center of the field where the back judge was.
Right.
The guy on the sideline did not see anything. That's pass interference. Now, that is not an automatic first down in high school football.
I can't resist this comment. I hear a fan yelling at the ref, you're not in position, and I'm thinking, so the referee's got to come up into the stands to get in proper position. Okay.
We have a timeout, Chaminade Julian, so to reset this thing real quick.
Yeah, let's talk about this.
That was a 4th and goal.
Gifts. 2 gifts, not 1, but 2. The flag was a gift.
Yep,
and
of course going forward on 4th down was a gift as well. Now, here's the interesting thing, though. Pass interference is not an automatic first down in high school football.
Right.
It's a 15-yard penalty.
Right.
They can't go 15 yards here because it was 4th and goal on the 4-yard line.
It was half the distance.
So it's going to be half the distance, and CJ now is going to have a 4th down and goal.
1 more play.
1 shot here from the 2-yard line, maybe closer to the 1, depending on where half the distance was.
Well, I'm kind of rooting for Ross to see if they give this thing a stop. It would be great
I
And a good story.
can't root for Ross when their coach does that bonehead play. Sorry, Ross.
Well,
No, Danny, I'm going to
I'll
root for
root
the Ross, not for the coach.
I'm sorry. That was just a boneheaded play.
Well,
It was not a
I
good
got to call it the way it is.
No way.
I'm
Yeah.
curious how much of that is we don't think our defense can stop Chaminade.
I'm thinking they must have
that might
studied
be
him on
admitting
tape.
something that, I don't know.
Ball retention's everything.
Ball retention is everything.
It takes time to score.
Here we go, guys. This
Fourth
is
and goal
big.
on the 1. If Ross can stop them here, they'll have 2 drives in a row starting at their own 1-yard line.
Let's see if they stop.
9:11 left to go in the second quarter of play. Owens in motion, touch pass. Going to try to stretch it way out to the side. And dives to the pylon, and he gets it.
He got it.
Kenyon Owens, a 1-yard touchdown pass on a jet sweep touch pass.
Richie
Oh.
Jackson made a heroic effort to try to clip him around
You
the
said his
corner,
name a lot, Richie
but
Jackson.
he didn't quite get a hold enough of him, and he got through.
Well, Kenyon, you could see his blazing speed there because he ran. All right. Let that guy in back of his
I don't know if
yelling.
he's broadcasting, but we'll ignore that.
That's right.
Let's go with an extra point here.
All right, so CJ's point after attempt by the mystery man, number 69. It's up, and it is good. So with 9:04 left to go here in the second quarter, it is the Chaminade Julian Eagles 14 and the Ross Rams 3.
Looking for future leaders we can believe in? Look no further than the high school student athletes right here in Ohio. High school sports teach young people how to be effective leaders. It includes learning to listen, accepting responsibility, being a good role model, and it's about respect. The result, it transcends sports. It gives us hope for the future. This message presented by the Ohio High School Athletic Association and the Ohio Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association. Looking for future...
Back here at Robinson Field, and the Chaminade Julian Eagles have stunned this crowd to a little bit of silence.
Nothing short of an interesting game with some of the play calling, but I want to see what Ross does next. They got to start picking this up a little bit.
Well, first thing starts with some better field position, and Jay Warren receives this one a lot cleaner than the last one. He's going to tuck it upfield.
Nice.
And he's out across the 35-yard line. Much better return there, and Ross is going to have much nicer field position to work with.
D'Angelo Johnson made a really nice open field hit.
Scores from other games right now. The Baden Rams have a 14-0 lead on Vandalia Butler. Thank you, Pat Lanahan, for passing that score along with us. End of the first quarter, the game that's on WMOH right now. The Fairfield Indians have a 14-0 lead over the Mason Comets.
Now, what was the seeding on that one, Joel?
8-9.
8-9. So that's kind of anybody's
And
game.
Division II, the Edgewood Cougars have a 7-0 lead over the Sydney Yellow Jackets, two teams that don't know a whole lot about each other.
Wow.
Interesting matchup at Coomler tonight.
We're at the 36 now, so pretty good field position for Ross.
Frazeman is under center again. And now he sends Brown in motion from right to left. Frazeman keeps it.
Good stiff arm.
Had the option to pitch it back to Brown, but he basically ran out of room because they ran that option to the short sideline. And out of bounds goes Frazeman. That will stop the clock.
Amari Lattimore holding on for life and dragging him down.
2nd and 2 now. Ross.
8-yard gain.
Yeah,
8
they kind
yards.
of dug themselves in a hole, obviously, and they're going to try and plow themselves out with this great running game that they have.
The winner of this game will play the winner of St. Mary's Memorial and Franklin, Larry Cox's team. And the Rough Riders have a 7-0 lead up at St. Mary's right now.
I have to ask you about how they do where they play the next round after this play.
Handoff to Aiden Brown. Go on again from right to left, once again attacking the short sideline, the left sideline, and kind of running out of room, giving CJ's defense the out-of-bounds line as an extra defender, but they carved out enough for a first down there.
So the highest seed would get the home game in the second round?
Highest seed gets the home game. So
okay.
If we're looking at the two scores holding,
right,
nothing changing, and CJ winning this one as a 13 seed and St. Mary's being the 5 seed, then CJ would have to travel up to St. Mary's to play the Rough Riders at their stadium next Friday night.
So the middle of the pack seeds always want the high seeds to pull the upset so they can get the home game.
Well, I mean, obviously Ross, if they come back and win this game, they would get to host next week, being the 4 seed, playing either 5 or 12. It does not matter.
Right.
the game would be here at Robinson Field.
That's right.
8:20 left to go in the second quarter. Pitch to Warren. Tried to go ahead and jump up with turbo, but Nico Vukasinovic makes the tackle.
Did you check with the coach, or is that your own pronunciation?
Well, just saying it how it says.
That's impressive.
I can tackle him a bitch.
I can tackle him a bitch.
You
That's
better
right.
believe it. Well, Ross made it across midfield.
He's a son
They
of a
are.
bitch, all right.
son of a bitch, yeah.
I got away with it.
I like
Hey,
it.
I'm hearing impaired, folks.
Well
It
done,
sounded
Dan.
like
Well
something
done.
else to me.
Handoff goes up the middle.
Nice.
Ace Brown breaks
Nice.
one tackle. Past the first down marker to gain. Finally wrapped up by Donovan Cummings, but not before the Ross Rams convert. And it is a 1st and 10 for Ross.
Ross is playing with some urgency here. I'll tell you, they're getting the snaps off quicker, not letting that clock run all the way down. I think they want to try and do a 2-for-1 possession here before the end of the half.
It would make sense. And they're down by 2 scores already.
Yeah.
They've been running a lot of these running plays to the short sideline, giving them the ability to get out of bounds even. Frazeman keeps it and has finally stood up
Blow the whistle.
and met. Late whistle. Nesta Owens.
And the fans are all yelling, blow the whistle. The poor quarterback, he was pushed back 7 yards before they finally blew the whistle.
Nesta Owens had a hold of him by both sides of his front jersey, like, shall we dance? Just backpedaling.
Frazeman was not going anywhere other than backward on that.
And I can see why the fans might be a little upset. Hey, blow the whistle. Forward progress was definitely stopped.
Most definitely. All right, 2nd down and 9. He actually got a yard of it. Handoff to Caldwell up the middle. Caldwell is met. CJ's defense tightening up against this running game.
Yes, they
Ross
are.
has got to kind of cross them up with something here.
Yeah, they do.
Oh, boy.
I definitely see a 3rd down pass coming here.
Can you pronounce number 50 there, Joel? Bruce? Nubata Genzi, I think, might
let's
be
just
the
go Bruce.
Couldn't have been
making the tackle on that, and I'm telling you, he wasn't going to let him go.
He's got the NK, the African spelling at the beginning of his last name. Kunda Bagenzi on the tackle there.
3rd and 8.
3rd and 8 for Ross. Aiden Brown goes in motion, lines up in the I formation behind Frazeman and Caldwell. Fullback dive right up the middle to Caldwell. That's a attempt either to cross up CJ's defense or to pick up enough to make it 3rd and short.
Or 4th and short, yeah.
Yes, pick up enough for 4th and short. They did. They got about 6 yards on that carry.
That it crossed them up. You're right, Joel. It did. It's a 4th and doable now if they want to run.
I would say go ahead and go for it.
Oh, definitely.
Well, it's 4th and 3. I'd say they're going to punt now.
I'm just kidding.
I'm not going to make that mistake again.
4th and 3. Yeah, no. This is go for it territory
We know
here.
there must have been a really good reason for going for it under your own.
Yeah, we'll discuss that at
It was
halftime.
interesting, whatever it was. I don't know how to make heads or tails of that myself. That's a timeout being called by the Ross Rams, and they're going to take a little extra time to go ahead and get this play. We can talk about this even now if we want to. 4th and 3. The last drive, they went for this on their own 8-yard line, and it set them up way back in the shadow of their own goal line for CJ to have a pretty decent punch in.
If you do that play, and you must absolutely be 100% certain that you're going to get that 1st down. And to me, they did a little hesitation. They kind of faked left and ran right and got stopped, obviously. And I'm still flabbergasted.
It's a decision I don't think I've ever seen either.
I've never seen
going
it.
for 4th and 3 inside your own 10.
I know teams are going for it now. And
More often, which I respect for sure.
Oh, yeah, I do too.
Well, and it makes you wonder. There's a couple of factors.
Analytics.
Well, there's a couple of factors here. It may be an admission of defeat. We don't think our defense can stop their offense.
Wow.
It could be. That's very harsh if that's what it is. It could be we don't trust we can punt the ball in this rain.
They're both kickers boomed.
The place kicks have been good so far tonight.
That's true.
Yeah, I don't know what the punting game
Here we
looks like.
go. This is 4th and 3.
5:10 left to go. Second quarter. 4th and 3 for the Ross Rams. Warren goes in motion.
It's
and
definitely
comes back now.
Running formation, folks.
Oh, yeah, no wide receivers, double tight end. Frazeman the quarterback. You've got wide back Warren, fullback Caldwell, and wideback Brown.
CJ has 10 in the box. They are ready.
Looks like a pitch to me. Let's see if they do.
Fraisman keeps
He
it.
just keeps it.
Spins it to the outside. He's going to try to get it, and he is going to be short.
Turned over.
CJ will get the ball. That was the same play they ran on 4th and 3 in the opposite direction, going left on the previous drive. This one's not going to hurt them in terms of field position nearly as much as the previous one did.
Not at all. An element of the pass versus run game, and I'm just trying to make sense of all this, but when you're running, it's just a lot more thickness, people, time to catch you. You got to handle the ball. You got to shift. And when you get into a passing game, it's wide open. It's faster. It's quicker. You beat people in the open field like that.
Chandler throws a slant pass. It is complete to Quentin Johnson.
Maybe in my old basketball coach's knowledge, it's about spacing. And running is thicker and harder to get through.
Well, I don't mind them running on 4th and 3 on that, but when you set up in an obvious running formation and everyone in the world knows they're going to run, and it's macho, man on man, and they were stopped earlier in the same formation, then I would think you'd spread them out to keep the guys out of the middle, and then you could run off a spread formation.
But I'm just talking only about just the running game versus the passing game,
Yeah.
man. And you think about how quickly you score, it's usually a pass that does that. And then it's rare you see a run like that.
This is a handoff to Lattimore out of the spread formation. Lattimore is going to churn forward for about 6 yards as he slashes his way through, scat back. And CJ across midfield, they are on the move again. The ball now 2nd down and 4 at the 44-yard line going in.
I'll tell you, the Ross Rams, this is as big a drive as they're ever going to have, being down 14-3. 4 minutes to go here in the second quarter. They cannot give up a touchdown and be down by 18 points going into the half. Not with a running team.
Chandler, quick pass.
Wow, good
to the
pass.
sideline. Quentin Johnson. I think of all the games I've seen this year, Dan, I've seen about 9 or 10 high school games this year so far.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen a quarterback with more zip on the ball than Chandler.
He is
precision. I mean, just he catches the ball right on inside the side. It's like NFL, and he just takes one step, he's out of bounds. It's really impressive.
It's timing patterns. You can see why Baden's defense gave up 28 points to these guys in the first half.
Oh, yeah.
It's a quick catch and a 3-step drop, and it's right where it needs to go.
The only thing you can do is you have to have lightning and speed reflexes to be able to stick with people like this.
Absolutely.
Handoff up the middle to Lattimore.
Oh, wow.
He's gotten about 10 more yards or so, maybe 11 or 12. It's a first down for CJ.
And that, to me, Joel, looks like the very thing you get when you have a good passing game. It just opens things up in the middle, and all he had to do was run straight ahead.
Well, you talk about spacing. And if you remember a couple of years ago, I think it was 2019, Baden lost their first 2 games to Ross and to Talawanda.
Oh, yes.
And they were running this wing T formation stuff, and they went to a spread formation. A lot of the same playbook, but it opened up the running lanes for the running backs quite a bit more.
Yeah, you just can't let the defense totally know what you're doing by your running formation. You have to have an element of surprise. Even if you're going to run the ball, you got to spread it just a little bit and not just all crowd in there.
That 1st and 10 handoff goes up the middle to, it looks like, number 7. That's Josiah Payne. As CJ rotates their running backs in and out a little bit. Only a yard there for Payne. It's going to be 2nd down and 9 for the Eagles.
Say what you want about the seedings here, 4 and 13. This is 2 evenly matched teams. Most definitely.
Well, CJ's got their foot on the neck a little bit right now, too. You can see it. A Statue of Liberty play.
The
Hand off
statue.
to Owens. Around the outside. They flag. Owens goes all the way to the end zone. He's ruled to be down at the 1 yard line.
It was the Statue of Liberty.
Danny, except that the ball was in the air like he was going to fake a pass, and then he drops his arm naturally like as if he had thrown it, holds the ball behind his back.
Well, it was the left hand had the ball behind the back as the right arm made the pump fake.
Oh, was that
So
it?
the ball was hanging back there behind his back.
Well, yeah, you want an empty hand up in the air after you throw the ball, right? So he switched hands and just held it behind him.
Just held it behind his back.
It was so fun to see that.
It was beautiful, but the holding
penalty
play
is going to negate that.
The coach has got to be like, I've been wanting to use the Statue of Liberty forever.
My gosh.
It worked.
I didn't even see the hold. I was so impressed with the Statue of Liberty.
The funny thing is we have a point of view from being in the stands and in the backfield. We could see it.
Oh, yeah.
They could not see that.
Oh, yeah. Ross's defense. Yeah, that
difficult.
was great play, but the holding penalty is going to cancel that. 2nd down and long. A handoff to Payne up the middle, and Ross's defense ready there.
All over it. Number 44, Bryson Baston got him.
This is going to be 3rd down and long. Normally 3rd and long spells doom for a high school football team, but when you're looking at CJ's offense, I don't know. I mean, 3rd and 20 is going to be a little more doable for this offense than about any other.
Ross really needs to not give up any yards here, because right now it would be a 50-yard field goal with no gain.
CJ would not attempt that.
No, they wouldn't, but I'm just saying, giving up 10 yards, they might try a field goal.
It's possible. Their kicker's got a leg. Chandler, blitz coming. Steps up in the pocket, looking toward the end zone. He's got a man, double coverage, ball deflected, and intercepted in the end zone. Ben Kugler comes up with the interception, number 8.
Richie Jackson.
Oh, we got to change. Okay, Richie Jackson. I'm looking at number 9 here. Thank you very much for that.
Yeah, it was Richie Jackson. We've called his name all night.
Interception.
The ball just took too long to come down.
That's right.
It was a
I
jump
personally
ball.
did not like that play call thrown into double coverage like that. He really trusts his stud wide receiver there. That would have been
Quentin Johnson was number 27.
No.
He was there. It was a post pattern from the slot.
Yeah.
And
What
the
a
ball
great game.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, the game of football, I was just talking about how slow running is. Sometimes the passing game, in this case, was a little too slow. The pass was long and high.
Frazeman took that snap out of the shotgun. Keep an eye on that and see if that continues, as we are now down below 2 minutes left, and Ross would love to punch in some points, even a field goal, before the half to get this thing down to a one-score game. Frazeman kept that on the quarterback keeper, got about 9.5 yards. It's 2nd down from the 30-yard line, their own 30-yard line. Pistol formation now. Aiden Brown is the quarterback taking the snap. He keeps it, wiggles his way through the defense, and a 1st down, temporary clock stoppage as we're down to 1:20 left to go now. Ross is now out across the 35-yard line to their own 36. Clock now winds, 1:15 left. Ross in a quick huddle, but they got to move this thing quickly.
They have 2 timeouts left, I believe.
Yes, they do. Aiden Brown, the quarterback.
They're taking
with
too
Frazeman
long
behind
here.
him.
Taking too
Pistol
long.
formation. He's got Jay Warren also in the backfield. This is an option. Brown to Frazeman. Runs it to the sideline.
Got out of bounds.
Runs out of bounds, which stops the clock. Interesting that Brown has been the quarterback on this drive instead of Frazeman.
Yes.
Interesting that they've been in the pistol formation in the shotgun rather than out of the wing T.
Maybe this is their hurry-up running game.
It could be.
Yeah.
I mean, Ross loves to run the football. We all know this, but there are different ways and different looks they can show you. And what they're doing is definitely crossing up CJ right now. And CJ even takes a timeout on defense with the
They're
stop
gassed.
clock.
Yeah, they're gassed.
This is something different here. Give Coach
timeout.
Commons credit for trying to change this thing up. And you also wonder if Ross has success with this, will this be a look that they show CJ in the second half
Yes.
of this game?
There's already been about 20 yards on this drive in fairly short order running the ball. So, come on, Ross. You could just feel the air lighten up after the interception.
Oh, I'm sure.
You can
This
look
is
at the
so
Ross
much more
sideline.
positive now.
You can see a bounce in the step of the body language of some of these Ross
It
players
was
as well.
just what they need, a little shot. And wouldn't it be something if they decide to make a pass play and make it a long one? Maybe. Just maybe.
How about a halfback pass? Now, that would
Anything.
work.
Well, the interesting
Throw
thing
it.
about a halfback pass is that Frazeman and Brown have both played quarterback this year and have
Yes.
both played quarterback in this game. So
That's
whichever
right.
one lines up at halfback really doesn't mean a whole lot in terms of this one's going to throw it versus not going to throw it. You've got a lot of options in your playbook
Well.
if you're Coach Commons here.
You got the ingredients.
Because, you send a guy on a sweep, and it looks like he's running, he stops and throws it, it's going to work. It is going to work.
2nd down and 1. Ross with the ball. 2 timeouts left. 57 seconds left to go. And a flag on the play.
Illegal, maybe procedure?
We're going to
Yeah.
see what this is.
It
It's
didn't look
offsides.
like
I think a
Yeah.
Chaminade Julian player was in the neutral zone.
I didn't
That's
catch
going to give
that.
Ross a first down.
Oh, it's not.
Offsides on Ross. They made offsides.
I guess their head was over the ball or something like that. We're not on the line.
I think that's an old school ref. He called it offsides on the offense. He should have been. It should have been a legal procedure.
That's what I thought.
It used to be called offsides back in the day, but
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen an offsides on the offense call. So,
well, he probably meant a legal procedure. We'll give him the benefit.
and now
of the
they're
doubt.
running the clock, which they shouldn't be doing because this is still
It was
after a
penalty.
timeout.
Yeah.
Aiden Brown, quarterback dive right up the center.
Timeout, Ross.
Meets
Come on.
a brick wall, and it's 3rd down and 5 now for the Rams.
Come on, Ross. Stop the clock. What are they? Okay. Down to 40 seconds.
That brick wall is Neston Owens.
Ross is huddling up here.
Really
it's down to 30 seconds.
30 seconds remaining here, and we'll see how urgently Ross wants to take this. Brown's going to keep looking to throw.
And he's going to run.
Pressure breaks down. He's going to scramble. Spins out of 2 tackles.
Nice effort.
His way forward.
Down.
Here's the good news. He's got enough for a first down. Here's the bad news. That play took 12 seconds off the clock. There's only 18 seconds left now. The clock will pause for the resetting of the chains here, and now it will wind.
To 47.
Timeout,
and now Ross will take a timeout. They let 2 extra seconds go off the clock there.
The coach is upset with the referee because I think he didn't. He wanted those 2 seconds.
Did he want the timeout early? We'll see if the officials get together and decide to put that time back on the clock. The clock had stopped at 18 seconds. And that has stopped temporarily for the resetting of the change, as is customary in high school and college football.
What did you think of the clock management there, Joel?
Well, it's hard to say exactly.
Yeah.
They are putting the 2 seconds. Coach Commons got his request in with the referee, and there's now back up to 18 seconds left here. Here's the trick.
Yeah.
You're not in field goal range.
Right.
That was a 3rd down play. So if you don't convert there, now what do? And your likelihood to score, the ball now it's 1st and 10 on your own 47. The likelihood that you're going to put any points up at all with 18 seconds left on the clock and knowing that you're a run-first team,
right? It's
really challenging. I mean, you would need to break something. You got 1 timeout left now. So if you can break something and get inside that 20-yard line, you'd be able to attempt a field goal with Sully Spencer for the last play of the quarter. But you basically got to be looking at 1 play to get you down there and then spend that timeout.
I have a question, Joel. Clock stoppage on a pass.
Yes.
To the sideline to no one.
Yes,
when it hits the ground, the clock stops.
That is correct.
Not when it crosses the sideline.
Shotgun formation. This is Brown rolling out left. Looks for Warren.
Ooh.
Little button hook. Warren didn't really stick it. Tried to turn around. The ball was thrown a little bit behind him. It was close, but not quite executed properly. Only takes 4 seconds off the clock.
That's some home cooking clock management there. 4 seconds for that play?
All right.
Okay.
That felt like about 7.
A little slow developing play there, but 14 seconds left to go now in the second quarter.
I mean, he rolled out, he threw the ball 30 yards down the field, and it took 4 seconds. That's awesome.
Well, one other thing, if there's anything to say in their favor, the sky looks pretty clear.
Yes, the rain
is starting to stop a little bit. There's still a little bit of it mist in the air.
Yeah, you got to look.
Brown's going to roll out again right.
Uh-oh.
Now bounces outside even farther. He's running out of room. Does not throw it away. He is wrapped up by Nesta Owens. Nesta Owens rudely ushers him down to the ground. Coach Commons attempts to call a timeout.
No.
The clock was down to 2 seconds.
There's no flag on a sack.
Fans want a flag, but it was basically he wrapped him up around the shoulder pads and kind of flung him to the ground.
Maybe they were thinking it was.
It looked intense but legal.
I can't believe he couldn't have just thrown the ball away.
Well, you're rolling to your left.
Why are you rolling
right-handed quarterback?
Joel,
that already is challenging.
I didn't like that either.
I don't like that unless you have John Elway back there or CJ's quarterback.
Luke Chandler.
You can't do that.
CJ doesn't roll out their quarterback much.
No, but he could have.
We need 53 yards for a touchdown, and he's rolling to his left, throwing right. He's not going to get anything behind the ball.
It's a challenge.
Yeah,
it is. Ross did take their last time out on the play.
They did get.
They put 3 seconds back on the clock. CJ had tried to go in at halftime there because the clock did run out.
This is almost like McNicholas clock management. It's an old
Baden reference.
Joel remembers that one.
If any Baden fans from that era happen to be listening to the game, I was at that game at Turpin.
Yes.
I kept a watch on my wrist, and I know that McNick scored that game-winning touchdown with 6 seconds left on the clock. So.
Yes.
The ball's at the 34, and a couple of backs for defenses past midfield on the other side.
Shamada Julian calls their last time out.
I don't think they're going to give them a way to beat them downfield.
It's going to be it's not going to be a Hail Mary. I think it's going to be one of those 20 yards and maybe a couple laterals, try and do one of those Stanford band plays.
Well, here's the interesting thing. You had a 5 wide receiver shotgun formation from Ross there.
Right.
if you could count on one hand how many times I've been able to say that all year for Ross, a 5 wide receiver shotgun formation.
You've never been able to say that.
It's not something they do often.
I'll correct my ratio. 1 out of every 8 yards
Yes.
is
His
passing
game,
yards.
through the air. It's not. It's
Yeah.
not much. It's not much. Now you wonder with Chaminade Julian how they want to play this defensively, because the ball after that sack is all the way back at Ross's own 34-yard line.
Right.
You almost wonder which team is more likely to score here, based on the field position. If Ross ends up flubbing this slippery ball, a pick six or a sack score is a possibility if CJ wants to play.
Let's play Alcoa Presents. You make the call. I'm going to say Ross comes out spread and runs it up the middle.
I'll tell you what I would do right now if I were Ross.
They're spread.
I would take a knee and get into halftime with the score being what it is. That's what I would do. 5 wide receivers. Aiden Brown. Blitz coming. He is eaten up alive.
He throws
Gets rid of the ball.
He got it.
Is caught. This is going to be an ineligible downfield. 3 different flags are thrown from 3 different angles there.
Impressive arm strength on the quarterback.
This is going to be an eligible downfield. This was a screen pass play.
Yes.
And that's why CJ got 4 guys into the backfield, all converging on Brown at the same time. But the offensive linemen were 20 yards upfield by the time Brown got rid of the ball. This penalty is going to be declined, so we'll give the catch on the play statistically to Riley Caldwell. And he's going to get a gain of about, 15 yards. That's 15 passing yards. And that's going to be all she wrote as we have reached halftime here at Robinson Field. The Chaminade Julian Eagles have come on the road, and they have kind of rudely treated their hosts through the first 2 quarters of this game. It is Eagles 14, Rams 3. You are listening to the Butler County High School Sports Report Radio Network.
Looking for future leaders we can believe in? Look no further than the high school student athletes right here in Ohio. High school sports teach young people how to be effective leaders. It includes learning to listen, accepting responsibility, being a good role model, and it's about respect. The result, it transcends sports. It gives us hope for the future. This message presented by the Ohio High School Athletic Association and the Ohio Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association. Looking for future...
We are back here at Robinson Field. Joel Sackenheim, Dr. Dan Vogt here is... Oh, no.
Actually, there are no more raindrops out there, Joel.
The raindrops are, it's kind of become a dull mist. You can almost see it a little bit if you look up toward the light.
Oh, you're right.
It's a very dull mist.
It's nothing like it was.
Oh, it was raining. Cats and dogs or Eagles and Rams, however you want to call it. It was raining a lot.
What's your summary of the first half? I'm going to say CJ is playing out of their minds good, and really Ross, they're doing what Ross does. They're running the ball well, but with that controversial play call there, it gave CJ the ball inside the 10-yard line. That's kind of the difference in the game right now.
And let's be fair to Coach Commons. If they do punt it from out the back of their own end zone, there's also no guarantee that you get a very long punt.
True.
It's not a guarantee that you're able to stop them and hold on to the end zone. It just takes them a few more plays potentially to get the ball down there.
Yeah, it might be a 35-yard drive instead of an 8-yard drive.
So it's hard to say exactly. I want to be charitable there, but certainly
you're very kind.
A play that would be questioned by most people there for sure. 4th and 3 on your own 8-yard line. That's not something that you see a whole lot.
And CJ will get the ball to start the second half, so it's going to be an important drive. How about some other games, Joel? You got any scores you can give us?
Well, has Pat Lenahan texted us with anything from the Baden-Butler game?
It was 14-0. I will see if I have any update on that. Still 14-0, but that's been a while, so we'll see.
Looks like the Sycamore Aviators, a 12 seed, is up 13-0 at the halftime at the Hawks Nest playing against Lakota East.
That's amazing.
That's a little bit surprising.
That's great.
Bethel Tate, Division IV, leads Schroeder Padilla 27-0 at halftime. That will not be a problem there. Looking at other scores, it looks like Jackson Neeson had a 31-yard field goal, so now it is 17-0 Baden with 2 minutes and 18 seconds left to go in the first half. That's the 1 versus 16 game against Vandalia Butler.
Looks like Baden's defense is just keeping up the greatness that they've had this year.
Coleraine leads Elder at the pit, the battle of the west side of Cincinnati.
Wow.
20-13. That's a 10 leading a 7 in the second quarter there. Looks like Moeller playing winless Oak Hills. They've got 6 minutes left to go in the second quarter. It's 35-0 in favor of the Crusaders.
So do they have running clocks in playoff games?
Yes, they'll have running clocks in playoff games.
They should waive that rule for that. I want to see 100 go up there. I don't think we'll see it.
Kettering Fairmont, who beat both Alter and CJ this year. They are on the road tonight in Division I playing the Perrysburg Yellow Jackets way up there by Toledo. It is 0-0 at halftime there in that game.
That's a drive.
Looking to try to find a few other scores. Looks like St. Mary's Memorial is up 21-0 on Larry Cox's Franklin Wildcats.
Gotta love a good Rough Rider, and St. Mary's does love one.
The winner of that game is going to get the winner of this game tonight.
Oh, interesting.
So as of right now, there would be CJ and St. Mary's up there at St. Mary's, but obviously Ross is going to have something to say about that in the second half as they try to play comeback. Western Brown leads Beechcroft 35-6, Division III Region 11 score. Valley View, who Ross beat earlier this year, it doesn't really matter now with second-level points now that we're in the playoffs. They are on the road. I believe they are a 13 seed, and they are playing the Waverly Tigers, and they're up 18-0.
Wow.
On Waverly. Upset alert.
So
they
it looks
are
like
quite potential.
Looks like the southern teams are upsetting the northern teams.
That's a 5-12 game. Waverly slid down to the 5 line when Clinton Massey passed them last week. Clinton Massey was up very, very big. They are playing against the Northridge Polar Bears tonight. Looking for some other scores if we can get them here. It's the other thing that's hard about this is I've got my Twitter account for all of these out-of-town scores, and now we don't care nearly so much. Halftime, Lakota East is down 13-0 to Sycamore, as we said earlier. Here's a possible upset. This would involve Edgewood's second-round opponent, the 13-seed Stebbins Indians, leading.
They are the Indians.
They are the Indians.
They're not the Guardians.
And they're having a powwow tonight up in Asheville as they play Taze Valley, the 4th seed that Edgewood could not pass.
And Joel, who is Taze Valley?
The Vikings.
Ah, the Vikings. Very good. Good name.
This score would be huge for Edgewood because Edgewood was unable. In the Franklin game, remember that Franklin-Edgewood game where Franklin had negative 32 yards in the first half, all the way back in week 2 or week 3?
Yes.
Edgewood ended up missing out on getting the 4 seed by that result. That game was what did it, which means if there are no upsets and Edgewood wins tonight and they got to play Taze Valley next week, it's a 2-hour bus ride for them. Based on the 40-yard field goal attempt by Franklin at the end of that game that beat them 17-15.
Wow.
It was amazing. I pulled up this week listening. I got bored in the truck, and I pulled back up our Edgewood-Fenwick game and listened to the pregame show, how we were talking about Edgewood. Now, Edgewood has ended up getting the 5 seed this year.
Hey, Edgewood, they put a hammer on Ross.
Well, they put a hammer on the entire SWAC. Every SWAC game they played this year with a running clock.
Oh, my goodness.
Every single conference game they played this year, they scored more than 42 points.
The Cougars are hot, guys.
And they gave up only 14 or less in each of those games. So, but listening to the beginning of that Edgewood-Fenwick game, Edgewood was 0-2 coming into that game. Remember, they had gotten Hamilton High had canceled on them in week 2 due to COVID, and they had lost to Franklin in that game where they had given up a defensive touchdown and a special teams touchdown and a 40-yard field goal and lost 17-15 in a game where they had given up negative 8 yards of offense through 3 quarters. And we were looking at that and seeing, well, there's 15 teams in this region that have won a game, and Edgewood is one of these teams that hasn't won yet. And, if they could just squeeze out 3 wins, if they could just beat Talawanda and Harrison, and maybe they can get one other, maybe that would be Fenwick.
Take this, Joel Sackenheim.
They haven't lost a game since, and they've been bludgeoning everybody.
They're crushing.
They are the 5 seed. They are up 14-0 on the Sydney Yellow Jackets right now at Kumler Field, and they will play. If they win that game, they will play the winner of Stebbins and Tays Valley. And right now, the 13 seed Stebbins Indians has a 14-point lead over the Tays Valley Vikings.
I'd love it if someone could let us know the Monroe score. Just put it on Twitter for us. Monroe and Alter.
Monroe and Alter would be a nice score to have.
That would be nice.
Be very interesting. I've not seen a score from Bellbrook either.
No, Bellbrook they're a force.
They're the 3 seed, and they're playing against Trotwood Madison. So, Monroe and Bellbrook ended up as the 2 and the 3 seeds. But they play some football royalty. Here we go. End of the first quarter. Oh, let's see here. It looks like at halftime at the Hornets' Nest, it is 7-7 between Alter and Monroe.
Wow.
So the Alter Knights.
They're being the Alter Knights.
They're being the Alter Knights. I went in. Now, Dan, you and I called the Baden Alter game. That's the night we met Thom.
Yes.
Good old Tom Brenneman.
Good guy.
Yeah, oh, yeah. And I had 3 different people come up to me before that game started, well in advance before that game started, and tell me, Joel, if Alter loses to Baden tonight, they're not going to make the playoffs. I said, really? You know that?
Not only.
They didn't ask me. They told me. I'm like, are you sure?
They just forgot who they were talking to, Joel.
I looked at each of them and said, if Alter loses to Baden and then wins their last 3 against Chaminade, Julienne, and Carroll, and Fenwick, then my goodness.
Go back.
If that were to happen, you really mean to tell me that Alter at 5-5 would not make it in?
Well, if you look, for our listeners, we need to bring up the scores of the last 3 Alter games. I know we can do that very easily. That's what I was trying to do.
All right, here we go. You want the Alter Knights? So let's look it up
Sure,
over here.
sure.
All right.
I mean, this is why I was a little afraid for Monroe tonight, actually. Okay? Here you go. Read those scores.
And again,
off.
Ross fans listen to this, Monroe fans listen to this. You're talking to 3 guys that have seen a lot of GCL football games.
Yes.
What CJ and Alter have been showing tonight is really not much of an accident. They're tough. So Alter was 2-5 after losing to Baden 31-0.
Right.
They then followed that up by beating Fenwick 31-0 themselves,
right.
Beating Carroll 42-0, and then they had to beat CJ on the road last weekend and beat them 55-28.
There you go.
So Alter is rolling, and now they are playing the number 2 Monroe Hornets, and it is 7-all at halftime in that game over in Monroe.
Now, who knows? Monroe might roll them in the second half, but Alter might play like Alter usually does in the playoffs. So we'll see what happens.
Monroe had a huge win last week. They beat the 9-0 Eaton Eagles.
Wow.
And that is why they got the number 2 seed in this bracket. And that is also why Ross got the number 4 seed, because Ross beat Monroe this year. Those 5 second-level points that Ross got out of that last win by Monroe bumped them over St. Mary's Memorial, and is why they are the 4 seed playing CJ. Maybe they would have been better off being the 5 seed playing Franklin. I don't know. I mean, that's certainly something to think about. St. Mary's is not seeming to have much problem with Larry Cox's Wildcats tonight. I want to see if we can get a Bellbrook Trotwood Madison score here. That was the 3 versus 14 game in this region, and it looks like with 9 minutes and 15 seconds left remaining in the second quarter, it looks like the Bellbrook Golden Eagles have a 21-6 lead over Trotwood Madison. Trotwood Madison is another one of those teams. They were state champions, I think it was 2 years ago. But they're the 14 seed this year. They've been down a little bit, trying to scramble and get everything back together. Baden game has gone into halftime now. It is 17-0 Rams. Baden Rams leading Vandalia Butler. Lebanon, Division I. Lebanon was tied with Oak Hills. They were winless through 7 weeks of their season. And you looked at them and you thought, oh my gosh, Lebanon or Oak Hills, one of them is going to get in the playoffs without winning a game. Now, Western Hills ended up bowing out, so Oak Hills did get in winless. But Lebanon was that other team that was there with Oak Hills with a record of 0-6. Lebanon has won 3 games in a row now, beating Little Miami, Milford, and then in double overtime, Walnut Hills to climb all the way up to the number 11 seed in Division I after being winless for 7 weeks.
And they get to play Milford again.
They're playing
in the
Milford
playoffs.
again, who they already beat, and Lebanon is up 7-0 with 2 minutes left to go in the second quarter of that game.
Take
Wow.
that as a lesson, BCS.
That's right.
Open it up.
That's right. That's why you play the games,
it
right?
Well, 16 teams in a region is opening it up.
That's opening it up.
It's maybe a little too open. And
Yeah, I like the 12. I like 12.
the interesting thing about 12
yeah.
would be that Ross and Monroe would both be having a bye right now, instead of playing CJ and being down at halftime and playing Alter and being tied at halftime. It's interesting that the 13 seed and the 15 seed in this bracket are causing fits.
Not
Yes.
to mention that, they'd be a lot drier right now, too.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
Absolutely. Trying to look for some other scores here. And again, I'm getting all these Columbus scores that nobody cares about coming in here because I got to pay attention to that during the regular season. Not as important as second quarter. 4 minutes and 13 seconds left on WMOH right now. Fairfield leads Mason by a score of 21-14. Coach Kastner of the Mason Comets was a little excited to get that matchup against Fairfield. They had lost to them 27-22 in the regular season.
Wow.
So Mason certainly wants revenge, and they are hanging in there with the 8th-seeded Indians in that 8-9 game.
Will they keep their name Indians, or are they going to drop theirs?
We'll see how much public pressure they get from a woke mob on Twitter, right? That's always the question. How much? I mean, the Atlanta Braves are playing the World Series right now, and they are still the Braves, even though Cleveland is the Indians and is going to become the Guardians, and now the Cleveland Guardians roller derby team is suing them for naming rights.
There is a Cleveland
Guardians
roller
rollerblading
derby
team.
Oh my
Roller
gosh! Fantastic! I hope they get a big chunk of money.
They
from
already have the domain name of ClevelandGuardians.com already. You go to it and you can see their website and see all that stuff. So I still would have loved to have seen Cleveland Spiders. That would have been the team that I would have liked.
Was that their former name?
That was not their former name. It was the name of a National League baseball team that folded in 1899.
Yeah.
It was actually the worst baseball team in history.
Wow.
The Cleveland Spiders in 1899, get this.
Yeah.
The owner of the Cleveland Spiders also bought another National League team, the St. Louis Pros. And
The Pros, I love it.
owning both of those teams, he made trades with himself to send all of his best Cleveland players to St. Louis.
No
It's
wonder.
the type of collusion you hear about in fantasy football leagues, you know.
Their GM was Josiah Millen, Matt Millen's great-great-grandfather. And that's where the GM badness got put down. No, I'm just kidding there.
The 1899 Cleveland Spiders had a final record of 20 wins and 134 losses.
That's like the Baltimore Orioles this year.
It's twice as bad as that.
Oh, my goodness.
Let's see here. The home record and the road record was split as well. I'm trying to see if there's a listing here with this thing because they played a lot more games on the road than they did at home. And the reason for that is, let's see here. It looks like they were 9-33 at home. They only played 42 games at home that year. And that was because back in that day in the 1890s, part of the gate money was taken to pay the hotel fees for the visiting team. And they were not, because they were that bad and they had traded all their best players to St. Louis that year, they weren't able to recoup enough money at the gate to be able to pay for the train and hotel bills for the visiting teams coming in.
That's unbelievable.
They ended up with a record of 11-101 on the road. They played 112 of their games as road games. Nothing in the second half of the season for the poor Cleveland Spiders that year. So that would.
Well, that sounds like a great name.
Well, I would love
go
to. I'd love to see him reclaim it. It'd be kind of nice to be able to put something positive. I use a lot of good color designs you can do there.
You guys.
Women hate spiders.
All the design things there. There's lots you can do with that. I mean, you could have the C with the spider web, or I would have loved. My personal would be an image of Chief Wahoo without the feather and with 8 legs sticking out of him. That would have been amazing.
Yikes.
Middletown's region, even though Middletown did not make the playoffs, the number 1 seed Marysville Monarchs are up 35-7 at halftime over the 16 seed Delaware Hayes, the Pacers.
Wow.
Mount Healthy. This is in Division III. They are the 10 seed. They are losing by 30 points almost at halftime. The 7th seed is the Tippecanoe Red Devils. Arvie Crouch called in ahead of time. Say again, sir? Mount Healthy is down 36-6. Tippecanoe has the lead at almost halftime.
And Tyler, too.
Tippecanoe up in Tip City. That's correct. So the Arvie Crouch called into the radio station, Dan. This was hilarious.
Yes.
Last week, he was at our last phone call we got. He called in, find out where he was seated, and he asked, who we playing?
Yeah.
And I told him the 7th seed Tippecanoe Red Devils, and there was a pause on the phone line followed by an audible, oh, God. Maybe there was something he knew because he's down 36-6 right now.
Oh, my.
Halftime at Balaban Field. This game is a little closer than people thought it might be. The 2nd seed in Division I, St. Xavier Bombers, are leading Hamilton Big Blue, the 15th seed, by a score of 20-7.
Wow.
A little closer for Coach Mahan's team than otherwise would have been thought about.
And X was the 2 seed in their region, and Moeller was the 1 seed?
Muller's the 1 seed.
Okay.
The 3 seed in that region, Lakota West, they are playing West Claremont, and at halftime it is 49-0.
Wow.
Coach Bolden and Lakota West laying the wood on the Wolves.
Yes, they
and
are.
ushering them rudely out of the playoffs. Looking for any other scores we can see, it looks like up in Findlay, Ohio. The Findlay Trojans have just taken a 7-point lead over the Miamisburg Vikings. That's Division I Region 2. 20-14 extra point pending there in that game. Looks like the McNicholas Rockets have scored 7 touchdowns in the first half of their Division IV playoff game.
Bouncing back from their loss to Baden last week.
They were playing against the Blue Lions of Washington Courthouse.
Wow.
We got the 14 seed there in Division IV. McNick ended up with the 3 seed after going 8-1. Their only loss was to the Baden Rams.
That's right.
Last week. Looking for any other scores of interest. Looks like Edgewood has gotten a safety, so they are up 16-3 now over Sydney, who has changed the spelling of their name, according to this tweet. S-Y-D, no, it's S-I-D-N-E-Y. Looks like Rumpler for Sydney had a field goal, or it might have been Edgewood. Edgewood may have missed the extra point and then kicked the field goal. It is 16-3 Cougars right before halftime. Clinton Massey up 42-7 over Dayton Northridge. Valley View, of course, at halftime, we said earlier, is 18-0 up over the Waverly Tigers. Well, what adjustments, Dan, would you make in the second half of your Ross?
Oh, gosh. That's a tough question.
CJ's tough.
CJ
Hit
the weights. They were doing that at halftime, Neil. Eating Wheaties and hitting the weights.
It just, to me, I don't mean to take away your answer, Dan, but I wanted to say I was impressed with the physicality and athletic ability, I don't say athleticism, of CJ. They just look a little bigger, faster, stronger.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Dan.
No, I agree. Here's what Ross needs to do, okay? They need to get a 3-and-out here on the first possession. That's going to psych their team up.
Defense.
And then a nice, long running drive imposing their will. Score a touchdown. It's 14-10. They're right back in it.
That would be what the doctor would order, what the dentist would order, right?
That's what I would order, yes. So numb them with a good running game. Well, that's what they need to do.
I believe I would take your prescription.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Well, and I want to piggyback down on what you're saying about
Yeah.
Chaminade Julienne. A lot of times when you see a team lining up in the spread offense, shotgun, we do the short passing game, a lot of times you think of that as a finesse team. CJ has really kind of bullied Ross a little bit in the first half.
Yes.
And they seem to do much things with ease. It just looked easy. They're fighting.
They're fighting
They're
hard.
tough, but they have to really work hard for every yard they get.
They're spinning a little bit neutral.
My best analogy would be CJ is like the Ohio State Buckeyes offense, and Ross is like Wisconsin. Okay?
It's thick.
Very thick.
Effective.
Very thick. Just a hard-nosed team that they try and just crush on the line of scrimmage, and CJ's winging the ball over the place. Electric.
Down at the pit, Elder has just scored a touchdown right before halftime, so it is 20-20 in favor of neither team, I guess.
That needs to be on our high school bucket list to go down to the pit.
The pit.
I've never been there.
I've never been to the pit either. I'm told that is a beautiful place to watch a high school football
We got to
game.
do that sometime.
It's only the second time, I believe, that Coleraine and Elder have ever played each other in football.
Wow.
The other time was a Sunday afternoon back in 2009 when ESPN actually had them on national television and scheduled the game specifically to be on national TV.
That's great.
That's certainly something. Those two schools don't typically schedule each other much, even though they're both on the west side of Cincinnati. Don't know why, but a lot of people there that game. Eaton Eagles have a 24-7 lead at halftime. They are playing the Jacks, the Oakwood Lumberjacks. That game is going on at Eaton tonight. Springfield up in the second quarter, 35-0 over Clayton Northmont's Thunderbolts.
Oak Hills was 0-10, right? But they got in as a 16.
0-10. They got in as a 16 seed when Western Hills opted out.
So the first 0-10 team ever to make the playoffs, I would say.
I would think that's probably true. Actually, I would think that is.
I mean, it can't get any worse.
They probably lost their last game on purpose just to have that claim to fame. Right? You know what?
They're going to underestimate us, guys. I can hear the coach right now.
You're 0-16. You're going to play like you got nothing to lose.
Except one more game.
Yeah.
St. Mary's Memorial hits another touchdown, so it is 28-6 now. Rough Riders in the 5-12 game in this bracket. The winner of that game gets to play this one. The winner of this game, the 4-13 game between Ross and CJ. All right, halftime is over. We are getting ready, and players are lined up to start out quarter number 3, and we're having such a good time, we're not even going to take a commercial break. We're guiding straight on through here. Sully Spencer puts the ball on the tee, and the Ross Rams will kick off.
Well, Joel,
CJ, go ahead.
Since we didn't have a commercial, I guess we're not getting paid, Joel.
I guess not.
Commercial free.
Spencer is going to go ahead and blast this thing low line drive over the head of Owens and into the end zone on one hop. And so the Chaminade Julian Eagles will begin this very critical first drive of possession of the second half on their own 20-yard line.
It's a hard kick. It looked like a line drive, and it didn't take long. And it just skidded into the end zone. I mean, the low trajectory and the wet turf.
He's got a leg,
It's
no doubt.
First and 10 for CJ, up by 11 points already, and trying to really put the pressure on Ross here. We have 2 wide receivers to both sides of this formation, 4 wideouts, and a running back in the backfield. Low snap, and this is going to be a handoff up the middle. That is Josiah Payne. Payne bounces it out to the outside and gains about 20 yards and runs out of bounds, fairly untouched on the play.
That was the same play they opened up the very first drive of the first quarter with, and it was successful then. But now it was much more successful. I think he got 8 yards in the first quarter.
No, Danny, it failed. It failed miserably. They did not score a touchdown. And I've always been told every play is designed to score a touchdown.
Every play. Huh?
So they failed. All right.
First and 10, 19-yard game officially. 39-yard line for CJ. Handoff to Payne up the middle again. And Payne is inflicting the pain on the Ross defense.
Yeah.
He's up the middle for 15 more yards. He's now jumping his way with 3 Rams on top of him for an extra 5 yards.
The athletic ability.
He is the pain train.
Stretching the ball out in 2 running plays up the middle. CJ has gained over 40 yards already this quarter.
He had half the team hanging on him.
Wow.
Took half the team, Ross, to get him down.
Chandler now in the pistol formation with a running back behind him, and now they bring Payne over along the side a little diagonally. Another handoff to Payne, and he's got untouched again for at least 10 more yards. Spins off a Ross Ram and gets about 15 yards total, and it's first down. Chaminade Julian wasting no time cutting through the Ross defense. This is
Richie
impressive.
Jackson got him on that tackle, but it's the easiest tackle I could find. This stuff is just taking gang tackling to get these guys down.
They're past the sticks before anybody even touches
I've
the
never
running back.
seen it.
I mean, they are just gashing them.
And these are running plays.
Well, yeah, but the formations are passing formations, so they're spreading them out. So that's why it's working.
Fewer Rams in the box defensively, and they're just knifing through. Payne is now out. This is a fake and a pass out to the short sideline, the little button hook, and you're going to have potentially a flag here. There it is. Yep, absolutely.
We saw the
Quentin
hit well
Johnson
out of
caught
bounds.
the ball, Got drug out of bounds and got a little extra
Bam.
hit by Ross, and that's going to be extra yardage tacked on. It's going to be a first down again for CJ as they now go inside the red zone in very short order.
Obviously,
Go ahead, Danny. Go ahead.
the frustration of being trampled down the field on running plays, and then they throw a pass at him. He had to take that out, unfortunately, out of bounds there.
Well, here's the thing about Chandler and a weapon, and Dad, as a basketball coach, you'll appreciate the spacing here. Because he's got such a live arm, it can throw it deep, and Ross knows they can throw it deep. That little button hook pass has been there every single play if CJ's wanted it tonight. Look how far off, even on the goal line here, the defender is from him. The quarterback has got a 5-yard cushion, and they're only on the 7-yard line.
And there it is.
Looking for the slant, got caught up, contact, and it's going to be pass interference.
Three flags.
Three different
All
angles.
directions.
3 different angles. It was clearly the cornerback wrapped him up there. I mean, Ross is giving so much room to these CJ receivers that anytime Chandler wants to throw it there, it's easy. Really easy.
Go back to this, what I was saying earlier at halftime. They're making it look so easy.
Yeah, and
like-
this is more effortless than anything they did in the first half.
Well, you know, another comment I didn't make yet, but I guess I'll make it now. Is poor Ross. Ross, they're playing a football game, and their kind of game is I have to work.
Yeah.
But it looks like CJ's just having fun. It just looks like they're having fun.
When you see CJ run that Statue of Liberty play, there's a little bit of a Harlem Globetrotters quality to it. The flags actually were a holding on CJ as well as the pass interference on Ross, so they're going to be offsetting penalties. They'll replay first and goal from the 8-yard line now. We'll see what happens with the field squishing down now in these last 10 yards for CJ. Chandler's going to look, fakes the handoff to Payne. Slant pass to the end zone. Easy. Aiden Lowry, the slot receiver, the innermost receiver, ran a little slant pattern. Chandler threw it about 3 yards in the air to the 5-yard line where it was caught and just run right into the end zone.
Once again, great quarterbacking and great precision. It's just snap, zip pass, right in stride, nothing to it.
Well, Ross, just on Ross's behalf here, they probably studied a little tape on CJ. Let's get the extra point here first, and I'll continue.
The kick is up, and the kick is good. Go ahead, Dan.
CJ's wins this year, okay, guys? They're 3-5. Their 3
They're
wins
only
were
3 and
against
5.
Yeah, they're 3-5 against Troy, Fenwick, and Carroll, all teams with losing records. So probably Ross thought, 3 wins. They did play Baden pretty tough, but still the final score of that Baden game was like 45-28. So I think Ross might have underestimated CJ a little bit here.
Danny, it's something that gets to me every time,
Yeah.
and I never ever got the hang of this kind of thing, but it's called matchups.
Yep.
And this is, again, kind of a matchup that I guess it really favors CJ.
Most definitely, and again, the battle-testedness as well.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I know Ross has been battle-tested. They've played Monroe, they've played Baden, they've played Edgewood. They've been in some games with some very good quality competition. This is not a new Miami, New Bremen situation exactly, or a Baden, North Union situation exactly.
Right.
But I'll tell you what, CJ played Moeller.
Yeah.
Whoa.
The number 1 seed in Division I. That was a that was a COVID cancellation. We need to find an opponent type of game, and they picked him up. They only lost to them by 14 points.
Yeah.
I think that's got to give CJ as much as anything of confidence. And scoring 28 against Baden,
That's
Yeah.
true.
that's got to give them a lot of confidence. And I know we're 3-5, but they can come right in here, and they are not afraid at all. And I'll tell you what, if this keeps up, St. Mary's Memorial is going to have a devil of a time looking at film study on this game, looking at next week's opponent for the Rough Riders. Wow.
Nice squib kick down the field, and Ross picked it up. They're going to start with pretty poor field position. Looks like at about the 17-yard line.
Yeah, Aiden Brown, he returned that, it looked like from the 2-yard line.
Okay.
It got down there pretty far, Dan, like you were saying.
I'll tell you what, when you look at field position,
Yeah.
CJ has had a huge advantage there also. And those are the hidden yards you don't hear about a lot.
Yep.
This is Frazeman pitching it. Ball's on the ground.
That's a fumble.
It is a fumble on the pitch play. The rain is coming down harder, and CJ is running off the field with the ball in their hands. Wow.
Definitely a pitch, quarterback option. He pitched it to the air. I don't know what happened. Maybe the halfback slipped or fell or something, but
Well, it was kind of funny. As the play was developing, the rain just opened up.
Funny.
It really did.
And maybe there was something to that, Neal. It might have been a slip or a vision issue, you know.
Yeah, the rain is now coming back.
Oh, it's coming
It's
back.
gone.
It started immediately at the end of that play, like there's an omen or something going on.
Goodness.
Yeah.
Chandler's going to keep it up the middle, hand off to
25.
Amari Lattimore, who runs out of bounds. Never too early to start thinking about clock management, Dan.
Yeah, I was.
He ran out of
I
bounds.
was looking at the clock while you were saying that. I'll tell you, second down, they're knocking at the door again, folks. They're down there at, where's that, guys, about the 9-yard line?
That looks right to me, Dan.
Second down and 4 now after that play. And this is going to be, again, a handoff to Lattimore.
Same
Bounces
play.
to the outside, cuts it back up, and he's inside the 5-yard line. It is a first down and goal for the Eagles.
Tackled to number 44, Bryson Baston. I hear you knocking. Now, come on, Ross. But you can't come in.
Dave Edmonds.
We'll find out. Thank you, Dan. I really didn't know who
That's
did
Dave
that.
Edmonds.
Dave Edmonds.
Oh, yes.
How about that?
Pistol formation. Little bit of a jump there, and that's going to be whistled dead. We'll see who this is on. It is a false start on CJ, so they will back themselves up 5 yards on this first and goal play.
A stay in sentence, maybe.
Well, we'll see.
We'll find out. Ross did have a good stand in the first half. It's just unfortunately the penalty cost them the touchdown in the first half. When they went on fourth down inside their 10, they almost got the ball back inside the 10 with the defensive stop.
Okay, it's pushed it back to the 8, folks. It's first and goal from the 8 now. We're down to 9:49 here in the third quarter. CJ comfortably in control.
And this looks like a handoff up the middle, and this is not going to be enough for CJ to get the first down here, or the goal line here on an end goal situation. But they'll carve out about 2 or 3 yards there. Starting to get really wet here underneath this canopy. And so it's affecting my little mouse here on this extra computer.
It's a steamed up mouse.
It's going haywire on me. Would like to be able to update Twitter here when we know something else is coming here, but
Rain has lightened up yet again. Still light, but boy, was it noticeable at the turning point of that fumble.
right. It's almost like the skies opened up right then when that ball was getting ready to be pitched. Chandler, slant pass through the arms of Aiden Lowry and out the back of the end zone, incomplete.
That's where, having that powerful arm, you might want to take a little off there. Slid right through his hands.
Yeah, definitely not a lot of touch on that pass, although the good thing for Chandler was it was not an interception. There was a lot of traffic.
No one could have caught that ball on Ross. That was too fast for anyone.
Yeah, I think Austin Ferris was on the coverage for Ross, and I thought he did get a hand on it.
3rd and 5. This is a big play.
Chandler's going to pitch it, fakes the run. This is to Payne.
Nice.
Payne is wrapped up there. A wonderful play by Ross on defense. I want to see if I can catch.
That's
Dad, you see who that was?
Yeah, that's Jack Hansel, number 1, I believe.
That's correct.
Made a great play.
A touchdown-saving play, for sure.
He wrapped him up fundamentally, kind of grabbed his legs from underneath him and kind of trounced him. It's 4th down and goal, and CJ's going to bring on their field goal unit here to try to go up by 21 points.
It's the kind of tackling I
Smart.
love to see. I never see it in the NFL. They always leave their feet.
They're spearing with torpedoes rather than
they're dead.
With their shoulder, they don't even wrap up.
They're worthless when they lay
This
on
is
the
this is
floor
smart by
around.
CJ going for the field goal here to be up 21.
The ball is down. 69 kicks it up. Tough angle.
You got it.
It is
was.
through.
The high snap.
Looks like that was about, the 3-yard line at 7, about 20-yard field goal attempt there
Close enough.
for the CJ Eagles.
We're not your official statistics network, but it looks about 20 yards.
CJ adds a 20-yard field goal.
So we got 8:10 to go here in the third quarter.
Well,
Chaminade 24, Ross 3.
that mistake at least only cost them 3 points. But now when you see only 3 on the scoreboard for Ross, you think, come on, we we got to do something. We got to do it pretty quickly.
Well, it was very impressive how CJ opened up the second half.
Oh,
I'll tell you.
Run, pass. Just the opposite of what you would think from CJ.
I know what you're talking about when you said you liked CJ's decision to kick it and take the 3 there.
Yeah.
If I may play a little bit of devil's advocate and push back just a hair.
Okay.
If you go for that and go up 28-3.
Game's over.
Statement, 25 points. And if you don't get it, Ross's offense is at their own 3-yard line.
Right. I understand.
So, it was not a slam dunk decision. They'll take the points. And this is going to be a long potential return.
Dylan Hammonds has returned the ball from about the 4-yard line.
And he gets out past the 30. A decent return there for Ross. They're going to have reasonable enough field position here.
Home crowd getting a little bit restless
They
here.
are.
They are. They're like, come on, guys. This is not what we've been used to seeing this year.
Well,
No.
Ross has had a very, very strong season.
Yeah, Ross, what, 1 loss?
They lost to Baden. They lost to Edgewood.
Oh, that's right.
And those are the only 2 losses they've had. There's no shame in either one of those losses.
Not at all.
Handoff up the middle. And a gain of only about 3 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 7 for Ross. Yeah, Ross had a 21-10 loss to Baden. That's a very respectable score. Very
Yes.
respectable. The Edgewood game, 42-0. That's the one I'm sure that got away from them quickly, and it's like, wow. But their win over Mount Healthy last week gave them a record of 7-2. And CJ has come in here and has really toyed with them.
Yes.
2nd and 6.
I think the coach is audibling a play. I've noticed that a few times. The quarterback lines up and turns his head looking.
You're right.
Frazeman kept it.
Here
He's
we
running
go.
and he's loose. Braden Frazeman, 1 man to beat, and I don't know that he's going to catch him. All the way down the left sideline and into the end zone. That is a 65-yard touchdown scamper for Braden Frazeman, and the Ross Rams are not dead yet, folks.
Neal picked up on that. Neal, you said it looked like they audibled, and they did. They faked the run up the middle, and then the quarterback kept the ball, ran around the left end, and there was no one in front of him. It was just daylight all the way.
That was an option play.
It was a beautiful, beautiful conceived play, just what Ross needed to get back in this game.
65 yards for Braden Frazeman. Sully Spencer's going to go ahead and kick the extra point up and through. And so we're going to take a quick commercial break here from Robinson Field. Chaminade Julian 24, Ross 10. You're listening to the Butler County High School Sports Report Radio Network.
Hey, sports fan! Did you know the OHSAA is among the national leaders in social media? Check out the OHSAA's social media platforms for news, tournament information, accomplishments, helpful links, and all the items available in the fan guide, including photos, DVDs, and publications. Check out OHSAA Sports on Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, and Instagram. And who knows, you may be the next featured face.
We'll see what Ross does with this kickoff here. Definitely needed that touchdown run.
I tell you, Joel, maybe I'll bring him a little luck just because I said that. We need to do something. We need to do it pretty quick. And that they did.
That they did. But that was an option keeper. Everybody dove down on Caldwell, the fullback there. And Frazeman tucked it and ran around the left side of the line and got to the sideline first, cut it upfield, had a nice little Vince Lombardi-like power lane, and
Look for the daylight.
outran everybody to daylight.
I was worried with the backfield on defense. I thought maybe that CJ might be able to catch up to him, but no. I think he just decided, no, nobody's going to stop me and nobody's going to take away my touchdown.
Well, I think you also had to look at the angle of the safeties.
Yeah.
CJ's safeties have been dropping deeper and deeper, as Dan's been pointing out, into the box all night long against the run. That gives you a harder angle to catch that quarterback when he breaks out loose in space. I don't think Frazeman is faster than the safety, but he was fast enough, and he got everything done he needed to do. Handoff to Payne up the middle. Now Ross has got to deal with him again. Another 11-yard run on first down, and that's not going to be an issue there. 1st and 10 again for the Eagles.
Ross has got to maintain Payne, I'll tell you. I don't know how they discovered this all of a sudden in the second half, but it's been amazing.
Yeah, that's just a totally different looking kind of offense than we saw in the first half.
Oh, yeah.
Running the ball up the middle.
Yeah.
Well, they're taking fewer risks, and they've been up by multiple scores this entire half, so you wonder if that has something to do with it as well. 7:05 left to go and counting in the third quarter. Joel Sackenheim, Neal Sackenheim, Dr. Dan Vogt, glad to have you with us here. Chandler's going to run that little button hook pass. That's to Quentin Johnson. And again, that has been there all game whenever Chandler has wanted it.
I'd say he's 100% completing that very play. 100%.
It's beautiful. It's easy. But again, Ross is so afraid, I think, of giving up a big play over the top because of Chandler's big arm.
Yeah, but they got 25 yards on that play. That is a big play.
It is a big play. It's just he's only throwing it 8 yards and having him run it.
It was a failure.
I'll tell you.
Take a look at these cornerbacks and how they're playing 10 yards off of these guys. Every one of these cornerbacks is.
Well,
Chandler's going to have that button hook anytime he wants it.
There it is again.
Quentin Johnson.
8 yards.
That's going to be an 8-yard gain.
Kind of a check down pass, if you will.
Well, if your play that you check down to is going to get you 8 yards, that's
you're going to be fine.
You're going to be fine. Yeah.
And besides, you want to eat up some clock?
Well, it's not going to eat up clock if you run out of bounds.
Well,
yeah.
And that's what he did. Yeah.
Which is what he did. NFL clock rules, the clock would wind again, but not in high school. So we're stuck at 6:46 now as CJ 8-yard chunks their way down the field on this little button hook pattern here.
Well,
this is going to be a handoff up the middle. This is to Lattimore.
Here we go.
Lattimore got stuffed by the nose tackle.
Yep.
He tried to run it up the middle, and it looks like the nose tackle in there is number 44, Bryson Baston. Baston basically took on the center. He took him down, and that gave nowhere for Lattimore to go as he's got his legs caught up in the mess.
Critical third down. They're out of field goal range.
Yes, they are.
This is a great place to get a stop.
3rd and 3, guys.
But
Third
we're probably
and 3.
in 4-down territory.
I would think that as well. And again, look for that quick pass to Quentin Johnson with the cornerback, again, 8 or 9 yards off in coverage there on the left side. And there it is to Quentin Johnson. Easy. Pitch and catch.
That's like taking candy from a baby.
Still 100%.
It's like warming up in the bullpen.
Yeah, yeah.
You're just throwing balls to the catcher is all you're doing there.
I
know they don't want to give up the slant and go route over the top, but my goodness, Ross has given 8 yards on any play that CJ wants on that.
With time getting short, you got to start taking some risks.
Yeah, you got to.
First and 10 for CJ.
And after all that, he's still 10 yards away from him.
He is.
And he's going to fake.
This is a handoff to Lattimore. Lattimore is going to keep it, stumble his way for about 4 yards, and honestly, the reason CJ may call that play is to get 40 seconds off the clock and know that they can go right back to Quentin Johnson on the little button hook pass on the next play if they want it. It's there every time.
Yeah.
It is there every single time.
It's interesting how they're not making any adjustments to stop the play.
Right.
I mean, let's see.
And I don't know if CJ's got a slant and go in their playbook that if Ross were to pinch down on that thing, if they would be able to do a pump fake and try to go over the top.
He's looking right at him. Other side, same play.
To the flat. This is a little bit of a slot receiver out in the flat, and Aiden Lowry catches it, and he doesn't go down right away. He does some fancy dancing and juking around, milks about 3 more yards out of that, and gets the first down for CJ.
Bryson Baston's been involved probably in the last 3 plays in a row
on
the tackle.
Yeah, what an answer for CJ on this drive. I mean, they give up that 65-yard run, and they're just calm and cool.
They're not worried.
No, they're just going to go down and do what they've been doing.
Well, they've done 60 yards so far.
Speaking of GCL teams that are not worried,
yes.
Ulster kicks a 28-yard field goal, and with 3 minutes left to go in the third quarter, the Knights have a 10-7 lead on Monroe up at the Hornets' Nest. There's the little button hook to the right side of the formation instead, and that ball is caught. That is Peltier.
You know, Joel,
go ahead.
It's almost like putting on the 18th hole in putt-putt. You have that grooved surface, you putt, you can't miss.
It's right there.
So easy.
Yeah, Peltier was being defended by Kyle Becker. Becker was only about 6 or 7 yards off of him instead of 8 or 9 there. And so it's a little bit less of a gain. It's going to be 2nd and 5 as Peltier is wrapped up right away. But it's a very easy pitch and catch. You can see why Chandler's got a 66% completion percentage on the season.
Wow. Certainly.
There it is!
Fumble.
How about it?
There was the play Ross needed, and they got it.
And, Dad, there's that man again, Bryson Baston.
Baston again. He picked up a muffed handoff, it looks like, and once again, he was probably the cause of it. Because, I mean, he's back in the backfield. Says, "Hi, guys, how you doing back here?" What? What are you doing
Pressure
here?
in the backfield. Chandler was trying to hand that ball off to Lattimore, and the ball did not really get handed off very well. It fell onto the turf, and that's where Baston dove on top of it before anybody else could. That
Huge.
might be the break that Ross needs to get back in this game.
Let's see what they do with it.
Ross is at their own 21 now, so here we go the other way. Let's see what they can do with it.
This is going to be
Oh, my goodness.
a bad handoff right back. CJ indicating they got it, but I don't think they do. Frazeman, I think, was the first one to fall back on top of that ball.
I think he got his own
in his
handoff
second
back.
down, yes. So a bad handoff exchange. Again, wet ball, guys.
We'll
Wet ball.
match you.
I call your fumble, and I race you.
I raised you another.
A 1-yard pickup after that missed exchange, and Frazeman dove on top of the ball that was fumbled forward by about a yard. 2nd and 9 now for the Ross Rams. Wet ball. Wet ball, man. You gotta watch all these handoffs, all these exchanges.
Kellen Reed is out wide to the right.
Only receiver on the play. This is going to be Caldwell up the middle. Fullback dive.
Running hard.
He's running
hard.
very hard. Finally was tackled there by Donovan Cummings of Chaminade Julienne. But it took Cummings for a bit of a ride there, and it's a first down for the Rams.
You got to admire the heroic nature of Ross. Again, they're working, but I'll tell you right now, the CJ defense is not having a lot of fun. No.
It's like
They
a trip
gotta
to the
work.
dentist, right?
They got to work.
Hey,
That's fun now.
Hey, that is fun. Okay, that is fun. Caldwell wrapped up there in space by Carson Swisher. Swisher brings him down for only a gain of about a yard. That's more like it for CJ's defense. We'll see
And-
what the counter move is for Ross's offense.
Important to know, we're down to under 3 minutes here in the third quarter. An all-important drive for Ross because they tend to, I was going to say they take a long time to score, but a 65-yard play on the last drive.
If you can get that, great, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Tippecanoe has scored again. They lead Mount Healthy 43-6 now up in Tip City.
Ooh.
Arby Crouch will have a long bus ride back home after that game.
Yes, he will.
Frazeman pitches, ball loose, scoop and score potentially. That is going to be Nesta Owens running it all the way back into the end zone for a 23-yard fumble return touchdown.
I take what I said earlier back about weather or vision. I think that was simply poor execution. I think an anticipation was there by the quarterback just to pitch it. And again, he just pitched it into the air behind him to the side. And this time, CJ's defense was through the line, and it bounced up nice and pretty, scooped it up, and ran it the other way.
CJ's defensive line really did blow up that play a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
That's true. There was contact in the
Defensive
backfield.
pressure in the backfield kind of threw off the timing of the pitch.
I think the quarterback just didn't want to get a negative yard there, and he should have ate the ball and fell.
Yeah, he pitched it, but I don't think the running back was quite ready, and it wasn't the most accurate pitch in the world. And Nesta Owens says, I will go ahead and pick this ball up and take it the rest of the way into the end zone. That is a back-breaking play.
And you can feel the air just went out.
It's silent here.
Quiet as a mouse.
It's pretty
Except
quiet.
for the three of us.
Well, except for the three of us, and I'll tell you, the chatter that you can hear is coming all the way from across the field on the CJ fans.
Oh, it
You
is.
can actually hear them louder than the Ross fans.
It is
We're
a
sitting here
morgue.
amongst the Ross
It
fans
is
right
literally
now.
a morgue.
That's just,
that was a devastating play.
It was.
Really devastating for the Ross Rams.
I mean, look at Ross's body language going out for the to receive the kickoff. I mean, their heads are down. CJ, look at them. They're
They're
jumping and hopping, and they're
bouncing their step. And
Oh,
my
Ross
goodness.
looks like what happened.
Ross had their appendix taken out of him on that play.
Oof. Scoreboard update. We looked at Baden being in the 116 game, the 8-9 game. Winner would get Baden or
Right.
Vandalia Butler. Lima Shawnee, the 9 seed on a long bus ride, coming down to Big Red Hughes and leading 21-0. So it might be the Indians of Lima Shawnee for the Baden Rams next week.
short punt, kickoff.
And it's going to be fair caught.
Again, it's like the first kickoff of the game at the 25, Joel.
Josh Botts is the one that comes down with the ball. Made no mistake. Ross wanted to make sure they gained possession of that ball there, but now they're down by 21 points.
And they got to score quick, and they got to have stops.
Baden has taken a 24-0 lead now on Vandalia Butler, so that is not a running clock yet, but Coach Jordy's got to feel very confident about that. It's looking like Baden and Lima Shawnee at Virgil Schwarm Stadium next week in a 1-versus-9 game.
They're going to have to pass. There's
Here's
the
a pitch.
Yep.
That is to Jay Warren. He is wrapped up after a gain of about 3 yards. And we got one Ross player there getting very, very feisty there with his teammates on the bench there. That is
That's Derek Rack.
Yeah, he's trying to fire up
Defensive
his
lineman.
troops.
He's a sophomore. I love his fire, I'll tell you.
He's trying to fire him up and create any kind of energy out of nothingness right now. There's not a lot to be said here. 2nd down and 5 for the Ross Rams. They've got 2 wide receivers, and they're in the shotgun formation with Aiden Brown now as the quarterback. Brown's going to run this as a quarterback power up the middle, and he's going to get nothing.
Nah, baby, nah.
Jaden Mitchell, the defensive lineman, wraps him up first, picks up his legs off the ground, and then they start running him backwards.
He just looked like a piece of bacteria and a bunch of antibodies just went zoop and got him and just drove him back. It was amazing to see the pursuit of CJ's defense in there. It's like, here he is, let's get him.
3rd and 4. This is interesting to see if they try and throw the ball here.
Man in motion. Got a CJ player to jump, but he did not jump into the neutral zone, so it is no infraction there on the play. We're down to a minute left to go in the 3rd quarter.
Classic 2 wide receivers split.
Sideline audible, too.
And keeper for the quarterback. That is Aiden Brown.
Nice power.
And Brown is going to have enough just to weasel his way for the 1st down. Ross using both quarterbacks a little bit.
Ross needs to get in the hurry-up offense, guys.
Yeah, the running up the middle, if they can get a breakaway.
It's effective in terms of getting yardage, but it's more effective if they're down by 7 than if they're down by 21.
Yeah,
Time is everything.
They got to play the hurry-up here, guys. We're down to under a minute to go in the 3rd quarter. They're down
Ross
21.
is still on their own side of the field at the 36-yard line here. This is going to be Brown running it, pitching it to Jay Warren to the right side, long side of the field.
Get out of bounds.
He can get out of bounds, and he does not. It looks like that. Well, let's see here. The referee behind the play called the clock to stop.
Yep.
The guy on the sideline seemed a little less certain of it, and he was the one that was actually there on the play.
This was the pitch play that failed twice with fumbles, but this one was run to perfection.
That's exactly what Coach Commons wants.
Quarterback got hit. As soon as he got hit, the ball popped away in the pitch, all of it being under control.
2nd down and 3 for the Ross Rams. 20 seconds left and counting.
And they're going to
roll
try
out
pass.
right. Brown over the head of Warren. Incomplete. Defended by Sam Downing on the play by CJ, but that was an uncatchable ball.
Tough to run left and throw right.
Yeah, I always prefer the rollouts on the same side that your arm is, so you should roll them out right. Throwing across your body like that tends to make it difficult.
Yeah.
We're going to have a 3rd down and 3 here. Edgewood at Kumler Field leads Sydney 23-3 at the end of quarter number 3. So Edgewood in pretty decent shape, and now if they can get Stebbins to finish off Taze Valley, they could get a 2nd home game at Kumler next weekend as a 5 seed. How about that?
That would be great.
Pistol formation. Aiden Brown's going to keep it. He never looked at his pitch man at all there, and he needed 3 yards, and he got 2. He spun down at the 45-yard line.
It's going to end the quarter, too.
And it's going to be a 4th and 1 for the first play of quarter number 4. We have reached the end of the 3rd quarter at Robinson Field. The Chaminade Julian Eagles have come in here and taken a 21-point lead through 3 quarters. We'll be right back on the Butler County High School Sports Report Radio Network.
Looking for future leaders we can believe in? Look no further than the high school student athletes right here in Ohio. High school sports teach young people how to be effective leaders. It includes learning to listen, accepting responsibility, being a good role model, and it's about respect. The result, it transcends sports. It gives us hope for the future. This message presented by the Ohio High School Athletic Association and the Ohio Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Over at Virgil Schwarm Stadium, Landon Vitterick throws the touchdown pass to Cooper Fear, and so Baden now has the running clock in effect. They are up 31-0 on the Aviators of Vandalia Butler. The Aviators have been grounded tonight.
They got fogged in, Joel. Can't fly.
Must be the vaccine mandates.
They're flying the experimental Cessnas.
Sneak.
Up the middle.
Sneak.
Easily enough yardage for Ross, and they will keep this drive moving as they reach the midfield stripe there. About a 5-yard quarterback sneak there, Dan.
What's taking them so long to get up? Is somebody hurt? Nope.
Nope, just a lot of bodies.
Possibly.
And now the clock will wind.
They need to play with more alacrity here. They're just kind of standing around.
Well, they made the ball.
And now they're huddling up.
Midfield, so we're moving, but so is the clock. And now it's a race with the clock.
Yep.
1st and 10 for the Ross Rams. Play
Here we
action
go.
fake. No time for Brown. Gets rid of it the last second into the flat. Intended for Jay Warren. Incomplete on the play.
Good pressure there by CJ. Caused them to – he couldn't go to his main man 23. Had to throw it out in the flat. Kind of flinged it sidearmed.
That was more of a just let me get rid of this ball before I get hit type of thing for Aiden Brown.
Like a flick.
Derek Thomas Jr. was in coverage, but that was Norman Jones breathing down the neck of Aiden Brown to force him to get rid of that ball before he wanted to.
I got my numbers correct. It's Ethan Fernandez putting the pressure, and the quarterback did throw the ball away.
2nd and 10. Pass to the flat to Jay Warren. Wrapped up torpedo style by Kenyon Owen.
Yeah, he chopped him right down below the knees. It just dropped him.
Kenyon Owen says, I know that button hook play. I can defend it and I can do it on offense. Yes.
I've probably seen it in practice a million times.
It's true.
I've been running it all night.
It's true. St. Mary's Memorial now has a running clock over Larry Cox's Franklin Wildcats. It is 42-6.
Wow.
Rough Riders. They get the winner of this game, which is increasingly looking like it's CJ going back on the road next week up to the Wapakoneta area and playing a Western Buckeye League opponent. Brown rolls to the right and is wrapped up as he gets rid of the football. And that was, once again, Norman Jones wrapping him up. Brown wanted to throw that ball a little bit deeper, and by the time he was ready to load that ball up, Jones had hold of both of his shoulders, and it was only just enough to be able to propel the ball forward harmlessly and complete.
I was impressed with the backfield block that Ross had. Unfortunately, there were 2 of them coming in instead of 1.
Yeah.
He did. He cut off one of them.
Got one, didn't get the other.
Jones
Well,
wasn't.
this is Ross's worst nightmare. They have to pass.
Yes,
they
they do.
know they have to
And
pass.
CJ knows they
And
have
they
to
got
pass.
they got their ears pinned back, and they are just going after
5
the
wide
quarterback.
receiver set for Brown. He's
going
going to
deep.
chuck it very far over the head of Jay Warren, over the head of the defender Derek Thomas Jr.
And that was fourth
And
down.
that was 4th down.
And they're going to change. And boy,
So the field position once again flips because we're at the 49
Yep.
of CJ. But
a lot of. Go ahead, Neal.
What the advantage really is the clock. And
Well-
you got 3 scores.
And
And you got the ball. You got everything.
A lot of high fives, congratulations there. It's
They're
kind of
starting
like
to
that.
believe it.
Yeah, that they're starting to believe it's over now.
Yeah, CJ feels it, and we're going to see this power running game out of a spread formation now, I have a feeling. The running
Yeah.
back is Amari Lattimore right now. They've gone back and forth between Lattimore and Payne and even Owens a little bit.
There you
Yep.
go.
And there's Lattimore taking the handoff up the middle.
These are the kind
Stretching
of
it out to the
plays.
sideline. He's not been touched yet. Finally gets touched, dragged out of bounds, and then held up smartly by Richie Jackson. He wanted to drive him to the ground. You can see the frustration on his face, but the good sense to control it.
Yes.
Number 8.
Number 8. That's right. Second
Well-
down and 5, and that will stop the clock.
And also I think he wanted to push him out of bounds to stop the clock too. I think
Good
he was
point, Dan.
Yeah.
He never really made the effort to go down in bounds. He
No.
probably
He just kept
should.
running. Yeah.
he should have
A
slid
little
down
slide
to
there
the
helps
knee.
out.
It's autopilot, I guess, but you're thinking at a higher level when you're trying to run, and
Yeah.
that's a lot to ask
Like a
for.
Maurice Jones-Drew type thing.
Handoff to Lattimore.
There he stays in
Makes
bounds.
a quick cut up the middle, and he's going to be just short. That actually works in CJ's favor because they take 40 seconds off the clock and get a 3rd and inches.
Let's
Right.
give credit to Colin Cadle for making the initial hit on him from Ross.
I always love when I'm trying to run a clock out in a Madden game or whatever else, having 3rd and 1.
Oh,
I love 3rd and 1.
break the defense's heart.
Well, because you're getting all the maximum amount of time off the clock as well.
Right.
See, they're standing there, not in any kind of hurry right now.
Oh, yeah. And keep an eye down on the back judge who's looking at his watch. He's going to put his arm. Yep.
Yep, 5
There's
seconds.
a handoff going up to number 23, Walter Sledge. And
First down.
Sledge ends up getting about 6 yards on the play, and CJ is in business, 1st and 10.
I think
inside the 40.
Yeah, Ross is pretty demoralized right here. I don't think this is a CJ domination as much as it's just Ross knows it's over, and they're kind of it's kind of sad.
Playing for pride. Playing for pride.
Yeah.
They didn't stop playing, folks.
No.
They're playing hard. But you almost wonder, and it's hard to say this on a 4 versus 13 game, if they're a little outmatched.
Yeah.
I told you that, guys.
CJ just looks like the better team.
They just look more athletic, more physical, some height, some strength.
Straight up the middle.
Handoff, Lattimore fights his way for about 6 more yards, right into the teeth of the Ross defense.
Well, look at watch the lines when they get up there, guys. Look at the size difference. I mean, 53, 64, 74, 67. Those are the offensive linemen for. Do we have height and weight? No height and weight.
Have height and weight.
They're all 250 plus. they are. They're monsters.
I'd be looking up at.
I'd say the Ross guys are 210.
2nd down and 5, and CJ taking again a more lackadaisical pace. And Chandler keeps it and he slides.
Okay.
He really does look like an NFL style quarterback.
What a smart play! He slid. So he wouldn't get the first down, and he's a yard short. So there's your 3rd and 1 that you like.
It looks like an unfavorable spot. It's going to be 3rd down and about a long 2, short 3 even.
Okay, well.
Chandler's a little early there. He didn't want to get hit.
He's probably also thinking, I got another playoff game to play.
That's right.
So let's not get hurt when I don't need to.
That's right. They get St. Mary's Memorial. They were one of the co-champions, I believe, in the Western Buckeye League this year. I don't know what that matchup will look like next week. But
I'm going to pick CJ right now
I would agree
over St. Mary's. We'll see what happens.
Chandler throws it through the hands.
After that game, maybe for St. Mary's?
St. Mary's Memorial.
We'll have a memorial for him after that.
Well, respect the Western Buckeye League. That is at least the top half of that conference is tough.
Okay.
Wapak, St. Mary's, Ottawa Glandorf, and Van Wert. Those 4 teams are very sturdy and very solid. So I don't know. I mean, I've not seen them play. I don't know how good they are. They obviously got the 5 seeds.
Incomplete pass here, and we're setting up a 4th and 3 now for CJ.
CJ's going for it. They don't care.
Yes, they are.
Man, they want more clock.
Aggressive. I like it. Might as well.
Blitz up the middle.
Hand off to Sledge.
Yeah, you got
bounces it for just enough. He needed 3 yards. He got about 4.5. First down, CJ.
CJ was fortunate there. Ross blitzed on the left side. They blitzed through the gap between the left guard, the left tackle, and, of course, CJ ran the ball opposite side.
Away from the blitz.
Yeah, it's going well for CJ.
And it was a quick handoff.
Yes.
Very quick in the backfield. The ball was going the other way.
If they would have ran left, they would have been stuffed.
What do they say, Neal? Flip a coin, 50-50, I'm wrong? That happened to Ross defense right there.
Something, folks, I'm very used to.
Blitz left, run right.
They're blitzing again.
Hand off to Lattimore. He's going to try to bounce it outside. He's going to have enough for the first down.
I don't know why he goes out of bounds.
The clock is going to stop at least for the first down. I do not know if it's a temporary clock stoppage just to move the chains.
I'm going to say he was tackled in the field of play.
He was tackled in the field of play.
And they are winding the clock.
I think it was brilliant play calling because the push, the bulge in the center, 3 or 4 of them of Ross getting into the backfield, and here they are running away from it, around it with a
should have gone to the right.
They did go to the right.
In the center, they will break. Should have gone to the right.
They definitely got around.
This is quite a drive for CJ. Yeah. They're already down on the 13-yard line.
3 receivers to the left wide side of the field, but this is probably more just for show than anything else. Chandler lets the play clock run down and hands it off to Lattimore, who gets eaten up.
Yes.
And that was our favorite defender, Bryson Baston, who has been everywhere tonight.
He is a bastion of defense.
And I want to make an observation here, both a compliment to Baston as well as the observation about CJ for the better part of this drive. I think that was the first tackle that was actively made instead of passively made, where the defender hit the offensive player.
Oh, he literally
instead of
picked
the
him
offense
up.
hitting the defense.
He picked him up and he knocked him back.
He drove him back.
It was impressive.
Right. That's the first time this drive we've seen it. Handoff to Lattimore. He's running wide. Punches it through. Now he's looking to cut it up. Escaping a tackle into the end zone. It is a touchdown for Amari Lattimore. 14-yard touchdown run, and that's going to be all she wrote for the Ross Rams, folks.
A lot about 2 or 3 pairs of sticky hands on the Ross defense there, but they just couldn't hold on, each having a chance to pull them down. He just eluded them just enough. He went around the left, scored just inside the pylon.
CJ is going to go ahead and attempt the extra point here.
With the unknown kicker,
With
69.
the mystery man, 69 out there kicking.
We have a flag.
This was before the ball was even snapped. Dead ball. Illegal substitution on Ross. That'll be half the distance to the goal. Or they might take it on the kickoff.
Would that be 5 yards?
5
Joel?
yards, yep. I would imagine CJ is going to take that on the kickoff, if that is indeed an option. They're not moving the spot of the ball at all or anything else of that nature, so it looks like it's going to be an extra point.
6 minutes and 6 seconds to go here in the fourth quarter.
And now they finally get it taken care of as Richie Jackson comes off the field for the Rams.
Looking to go up by 4 scores.
Ball is down. Kick is up. Kick is plenty good. CJ up by 28 points here at Robinson Field. We'll be right back on the Butler County High School Sports Report Radio Network.
Hey, sports fan! Did you know the OHSAA is among the national leaders in social media? Check out the OHSAA's social media platforms for news, tournament information, accomplishments, helpful links, and all the items available in the fan guide, including photos, DVDs, and publications. Check out OHSAA Sports on Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, and Instagram. And who knows, you may be the next featured face.
Looking at these scores for CJ's schedule as they
Yes.
are 3-5, about ready to become 4-5 on the season. Besides only a 14-point loss to the Moeller Crusaders, who ended up being the #1 seed this year in Division I. An overtime loss at McNicholas, who was undefeated at that point in time, 31-30, when they went for 2 and didn't get it.
None of that extra point trading stuff.
No, they admire the courage, that's for sure. Admire the courage.
Speaking of overtime, I got to ask you about a college football game last week.
Oh, my gosh.
You know what
I know exactly what you're talking about. That kickoff is going out of bounds.
That might be the only thing CJ has done wrong in the second half, is that play.
That play, yep. And the 65-yard touchdown run for Fraser.
Well, Penn State, who I've never been a fan of, lost in 9 overtimes to Illinois in this new modified college overtime. So this is I want to have Joel's opinion of the new college overtime.
It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Stupidest thing he's ever heard. I love it.
Don't even call it 9 overtimes. When you start only running individual 2-point conversion plays starting at overtime number 3,
right.
You didn't play 9 overtimes. You played 2 overtimes.
Right.
And then 7 individual plays back and forth.
Yeah.
When A&M played LSU to 7 overtimes, that was far more football than 9 overtimes.
All right, so let me hear your solution. You know they're doing it, of course. It's once again to protect the guys. You know, don't let them get too tired. Don't let them get too injured. It's ruined overtime in college football.
College football overtime is not as good as NFL overtime anyway.
No,
it's just
now
not.
Here's what I would do.
Jay Warren, by the way, took that first down play for no yardage.
Thank you.
2nd and 10.
I would consider after this play.
Yep. Pitch goes to Aiden Brown from Frazeman, running toward the wide sideline left, and he's got upfield for about 8 yards. Going to be 3rd down and short.
The way college football is set up, you get the ball at the 25-yard line. You're in field goal range to begin with. So kicking a field goal in overtime is basically a failure, okay? Because you want to get the touchdown. So to me, they should start the overtime at the 50-yard line.
They should start the overtime with a kickoff.
Right.
And actually play football.
Okay.
That's what they should do.
You like a true overtime.
A true overtime.
Like the NFL.
Final score, by the way, Wapakoneta in Division III over Dunbar 30-0. Wapak is the 6th seed. They will get the Tippecanoe Red Devils next week. This is a nice run by Ross.
Yes, it is.
And Caldwell's trying. He's got about 25 yards on this play, and he was still fighting tooth and nail. I like to see the fight still, Dad.
I like it, too. I like the effort.
And I want to give a call out and an appreciation to the Ross fans. They're not leaving.
They're not leaving.
They're not going anywhere. They're staying here right with their team.
And they will do the classy thing. They will cheer these these boys at the end of the game, these young men, because they know they played a heck of a season this year.
That's right. They've had especially losing C.J. Bowes, who was a great quarterback for them last year. They have really done a good job to rally the troops and put on a very good season. It's going to end with 7-3, though, on the year with this loss tonight to C.J. First down run to the outside for about 6 or 7 yards. And go ahead.
That was Aiden Brown.
Aiden Brown on the run.
We're down to 4 minutes, 15 seconds to go here in the fourth quarter.
Oh,
Second
that
down
was
to
so
3.
5 seconds ago, Dan.
Second and a long 3.
My kids think I'm a lot more than 5 seconds ago.
Counter trap.
Oh, nice
Hand
met
off
in
to
the
Warren.
backfield.
Warren is met
On number 45.
by Carson Swisher, who brings them down for no gain. Now, Dan, I'll tell you, if you want an outside-the-box thought for overtime.
Okay, let's hear it.
I know there's a lot of people that hate coin flip.
Yep.
Here it is. Keep playing. Put 15 minutes or 12 for high school, whatever, on the clock. Keep playing at the end of the fourth quarter. Make the fourth quarter to the fifth quarter the same as the third to the fourth.
Okay, so just add a quarter.
Sudden death.
Sudden death.
Whoever's got the ball has the ball. No coin toss.
Oh.
Graceman takes that and is going to have enough for a first down as he's now to the 25-yard line. So basically, if you're down by 3 points late in the game,
you tie it and you go overtime.
you tie and go to the overtime, you're kicking off.
Yeah, I got
What
you.
happens the entire rest of the game when you score? You kick off to the other team.
I've always hated the new 10-minute NFL overtime.
Sure.
Because there's too many
You got
games.
clock management issues and things like that go on.
Exactly.
I'm thinking, if you're down by 3 and you know that you have to kick off if you score, maybe you go for it.
I like that.
It's your choice. Shovel pass to Jay Warren. That was creative.
He's running hard.
Spin moves inside the 10-yard line. That might be the most creative play call I've seen from Ross all night long. That was exciting.
That was good.
Little shovel pass. Looked like an option to the outside, and then Fraseman kind of pitched the ball forward against the grain.
Oh, it was a thing of beauty. Norman Jones, CJ, messed it up, though, at the end by tackling him. It was beautiful, yeah.
It was. We're under 3 minutes left to go now in the fourth quarter as Ross has the ball at the 9-yard line. First and goal, Rams. Trying to put a few more points up on the season. Timeout, CJ.
We were a little, at least I was a little confused there because the snap went up and then all of a sudden everybody stood up and stopped.
Right, the whistle was blown. It was the side judge over by the Chaminade Julian sideline. CJ wants to take a timeout on defense, get themselves organized, shall we say.
Well, let's while we have a break in the action here, let's preview next week's game, shall we? So Chaminade, we're going to give them the win today. Then they'll be the 13 seed, so they were going to next battle.
They will be traveling up to St. Mary's to play the Rough Riders of St. Mary's Memorial. They finished 8-2 on the season. They were beating Franklin by a good 20-some points tonight. They won their last couple of games. Well, it looks like in their last 5 games of conference play, 25-3, 48-7, 42-7, 28-0, 35-0. So they're a good team.
St. Mary is angry.
St. Mary's is, by the way, not a Catholic school.
Unbelievable.
It's from the town of St. Mary's.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yes, so it's a public high school.
Where the giant lake is.
It's Memorial High School of St. Mary's.
Okay.
Yes. So that is not a battle of Catholic schools there with CJ next week.
Well, it would make sense because I don't ever associate Rough Riders with St. Mary.
I don't know. 80 miles from Nazareth to Bethlehem. I think that might have been a rough ride.
I like to see the St. Mary Sinners.
The St. Mary Sinners.
The Sinners. Here comes the Sinners on the field.
Our Lady of the Worthless Miracle. There you go. It's from the Naked Gun.
St. Mary's Imperfections.
The Imperfections.
The Imperfections, yeah.
Second down and goal now from the 6-yard line for Ross.
Come on, Ross. Let's bang it in
back
here.
Up to the line again.
Come on, Ross.
He's going to keep it. Spinning to the right.
Get in there.
Trying to carve his way through. He got most of the yards he needs, but it looks like he's down at the 1-yard line. Ross will have 2 more chances to punch this thing in and get this last touchdown up on the board. End of the third quarter. Alter is still up 10-7 on Monroe.
Ooh.
Danny, my reaction exactly internally, though. But.
Touchdown!
Fraseman on a quarterback sneak.
All right.
Punches it in for the Ross Rams.
All right. I like that.
That is Braden Fraseman's second rushing touchdown.
Go for 2. Why not?
Frazeman is a senior, so this is kind of his last hurrah.
Wow.
For the Rams.
Okay, they are going to kick the extra point here.
They got a new kicker in there. He looks small, and I guess
maybe they're grooming him for next year.
Number 35.
Yeah, he looks.
39.
He just got it over the crossbar.
That is Jace Newmeyer.
Yeah.
Who kicks the extra point. Good eyes on that.
Good
Neal.
for him.
Very good eyes there.
No, not that good. I couldn't catch the number, but yeah, you can see the kick's a little wobbly, but it went over the crossbar.
Newmeyer is a sophomore, 5'5", 115 pounds.
He's 5 foot nothing and 100 nothing. What are you talking about?
With a very strong leg to power ratio.
That's where 90% of his weight is in his leg.
he got some good foot on that
That
ball.
was good.
Yes, he did. Sully Spencer, by the way, is a junior, their normal kicker, and so he'll be back next year.
You know,
okay.
Assuming he does not graduate early, right?
I just think that's some good coaching.
Sure.
Get a kid in there, give him. There's nothing here to lose.
Well, he can say,
He comes away. Hey, I scored.
I scored in a playoff game.
In a playoff game.
That's right. That's
great.
exactly right.
He's got to feel great. He's
Yep.
got to feel great.
Looks like Coleraine and Elder are 27 all in the fourth quarter right now.
I love it. I love it. That place is rocking.
Kings Knights up 43-6. Start of the fourth quarter. That's not a problem. Moeller has gone final. They beat Oak Hills 35-14. It was 35-0 at halftime, so they just took it easy the entire second half.
Yeah, it was they used their backups in the second half, I would say. Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with
Let's
that
see
at
if
all.
they do an onside. Wouldn't that be fun?
Oh, I think they will. Why not?
Unreachable, not enough time, minute 51. They probably,
Well, you might as well.
They'll probably kick away.
See what happens.
I'd like to see it. See, they kick.
They are kicking long.
Yeah,
I don't
they're
get it.
kicking
CJ had everybody up, only one man back, and let it go over his head. It's going to be a touchback.
And the kickoff, the kicker, he did not look to the sideline for an audible. So
No, he did not. No, he did not.
I didn't see anything out of the ordinary there either.
End of the third quarter out in Asheville, which is between Columbus and Circleville. Stebbins still leads Taze Valley, 34-20. That's very important for Edgewood if they would like to have a second home game rather than having to drive 2 hours on a bus to play the Vikings next week.
Ooh.
Absolutely. So
Bumma,
Edgewood was
bumma.
leading Sydney, last I saw there.
I was just trying to figure out the graphic on the Ross scoreboard. See that? I can't even. They just play with the words and spin things around, and then there'll be a graphic of some kind. I can't figure out what it is.
Those are clouds.
I could tell what that one is, but
First down running play was a handoff to Walter Sledge, who gets more than 10 yards and is going to have a first down.
I'm the first folks on the air to ever give you a play-by-play of the scoreboard. So
With the American flag up there, it looks like.
that
Yeah.
definitely. But there
We
was some other
salute our
things
troops.
like rays of sunshine.
One
or
thing I
something.
did notice-
There's that.
Fireworks.
Yeah, one thing I noticed is they were, for an extra point for CJ, as they were facing the scoreboard flashed. It was very bothersome. I was wondering if they were trying to distract the kicker. No, I'm
I
serious.
think it's probably just on a
There it is.
there
See it flashing?
I think it's just on a stream, and however
Hey,
it
folks.
times at times.
It was just
Luke Chandler quarterbacking now for CJ, so he's getting in some time.
He's been the quarterback all night, Coach.
I've been saying quarterback all night, and I
Hand
never
off,
knew
Thomas.
which one was which.
Thomas Williams.
now. I do agree with you that the other players are getting some backup. The other
running
backups
back.
are in there.
Thomas Williams
Well,
was the
darn
backup
it, what
running
am I
back.
saying? I remember number 8. He was the one who slid.
Oh, yeah, he
That
was.
Yeah.
is funny, folks. Don't turn 63. This is what happens.
You get old, huh?
Oh. No, folks. I want to shout out to Chris Vogt for giving me a seat.
Oh, sure.
Oh, yeah.
As worthless as I really, really am, you guys are amazing.
Neal,
And
you're
here,
awesome,
the
dude.
game's over, and I still don't even know who the quarterback is. So I really prepared well for this game.
We are down to under a minute to go, folks.
Garbage time.
And there's the respectable thing to do. He takes the knee.
And a flag.
Oh, come on.
There was a hit there that looked like it was Will Schroeder.
Oh, I don't like
Senior
that.
for Ross on defense. This is his last game, and he's going to go off with a personal foul penalty, I have a feeling. That was a shotgun snap and a kneel-down play.
Which, interesting. Just
Might have been
take it
Colton
under
Thomas.
center, you would think.
Might have been Colton Commons, 48. He just came off the field.
Goodbye. They're starting to say that across the field to the
And they're
Ross
holding up their
fans.
cell phone lights as
They
well.
got their lights are waving back and forth, singing "Kumbaya."
It's the first time they've been able to take out their cell phones on this mostly rainy night all night long.
I would like to say, hey, folks, you're only 4-3, okay?
4 and 5.
4 and 5.
4 and
Yeah,
5. See what I
absolutely.
mean? I even gave them a winning record.
Absolutely.
I gave them that much
We
respect.
have
don't have a
5,
winning record yet.
4, 3, 2, 1, and that is it.
But while they may not have a winning record on the season, they are 1-0 in the postseason.
They are
and that is
perfect in the postseason.
That is the record that they want. So
You win the game the last time around.
we've
The
gone
race.
final. Let's just go ahead and wrap this up. We've been basically wrapping this up for the last 6 minutes.
Yeah,
since they've been
a lot of
playing out the
vent
string
time.
here in garbage time. Chaminade, Julienne, they're simply the better team, Dan.
Yeah, they were. They could run in, pass at will. Well, maybe not at will. I thought the way the second half came out, I was hoping that Ross, being down, what was the score at halftime? It was 21-10.
It was 21 or it was 3. It was 14-3.
14-3.
14-3. Yeah, I was hoping to see maybe a 3-and-out and a Ross long drive to cut it to 14-10. That's where I got the 10 in my head. And Chaminade comes out, boom, runs Payne, boom, runs Payne, boom, runs Payne, and boom, runs Payne. And it was just great execution. I don't think Ross was expecting him to come out and hit him in the mouth with 4 straight running plays that garnered maybe 60 yards of field position. And that was it. I mean, it seemed like that was it for me. Showed they were the superior team.
I think I look for that at the beginning of a game when they're warming up. And
Yeah.
you never know about size,
You don't.
but they had the size plus the talent. And I would think I was saying it at halftime. That's what my first half assessment was. It's just too much, CJ. God bless Ross, for fighting as hard as they did. But CJ, they were just a better team.
They really were.
They were just a better team.
When you can run the ball 10 yards a clip right through the middle, and then you can mix and match that with an 8-yard button hook pass that could turn into 25 yards on one broken tackle anytime you want it. Very challenging for Ross. Ross was playing uphill all night long. CJ had the high ground. And you could tell that, Ross was charging uphill and charging uphill and charging uphill, but everything they were trying to do was just difficult.
And the game just took a turn for the worse on Ross with the fourth and 3 call.
That
inside their own
really
camp.
hurt. Yeah,
It seemed like it just started the downhill slide.
The rain-making pitch play that was a fumble.
The rain-making pitch
I
hurt.
could summarize, I think, CJ in a single word from what I could see tonight. Dynamic.
Yeah, very good.
That's a good adjective for that. CJ definitely dynamic, and they will try to take that dynamism up with them too.
Dynamite.
St. Mary's next week as they
Jimmy Wolf.
get a little taste of the Western Buckeye League. For Dr. Dan Vogt, for Neal Sackenheim, and every other Vogt and Sackenheim out there. CJ 38, Ross 17. Thank you for listening. The Butler County High School Sports Report Radio Network.
Good night.
Hey, sports fans! Did you know the OHSAA is among the national leaders in social media? Check out the OHSAA's social media platforms for news, tournament information, accomplishments, helpful links, and all the items available in the fan guide, including photos, DVDs, and publications. Check out OHSAA Sports on Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, and Instagram. And who knows, you may be the next featured face.